Hey guys, it is Becoming Skull, and welcome to a brand new video. The official Monster Hunter Rise tier list videos with 4 veterans and 1 noob, me, are gonna be ranking each monster where we feel the monster should be placed. In this video we have Super Rad, Mother Coconuts, Fumetto, and Herney, and all 4 of us have, with different play styles and different ways of playing the game, mutually agree on where we think the monster should be placed. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a comment down below where you guys think the monster should be placed, and also don't forget to check out all their channels. Links will be in the description below. Alright, enjoy. So we got Aknosom. What do you guys think so far? Let's start with Herney.
I think as far as like bird wyverns go, he's pretty cool. He's pretty unique. I think his icon is really cool. Like it actually looks like a ghost, like something kind of spooky.
Oh,
and its ghost story was like super intense, even though it's just like a bird wyvern. What did it say? It was like its power soul is like drenched in blood or something. And I'm like, word, it's just an Aknosom. Like, it's not that serious. But
I got a monster for that one.
But yeah, it like and this is be a common trend, I guess, for the whole tier list. But like, despite like fighting other birds that we've seen before, it moves really, really different. It does like a backflip kick thing. It does like I like your cut G kind of slap, which I really like.
Oh yeah.
It like uses its head like a fan and like a shovel. Yeah, it has like really, really unique moves. It's really different from like any other like bird we've fought before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some cool ass moves. I agree.
Yeah. So as far as those are my thoughts on the fight.
So Aknosom to me is a very aesthetically pleasing monster. It's one of the early ones you fight in the game. I think it does a good job of introducing the player to, hey, this monster's out here, but you're gonna get juked a couple of times. It looks like it's gonna slap you because it does that like your cut G attack like Henry said, but its timing is a little different than what you would expect naturally from a monster. Even playing Monster Hunter games from the past, jumping into this one, Aknosom was always that fun one for me personally, because I was like, all right, I actually gotta like sit here and see that attack coming at me, be able to dodge it. Once you learn that, it's the game's way of saying, hey, not every monster is going to be the same in the beginning because you have your starter monsters that you're going up against, Aknosom being one of them. The parasol, the way it moves, the way it attacks you, the idea behind it, all solid for me in my opinion. So the fight itself, good start fight.
You're actually like really correct on like his moveset being like a little different in the timing than most monsters. Like he waits a lot longer. It was very interesting in that regard.
Oh yeah,
a little jarring in the beginning.
Definitely. How about you, Fem?
Aknosom was actually one of the 2 monsters that carded me in while I was running through the whole like village and hub stuff. And so because he carded me and his frill doesn't count as his head, so he's got a really shitty gunner hit zone. Horrible fight. Horrible. No, actually, I really like Aknosom, but the fight is so annoying for a gunner because his head's super fucking high for a bird. And it's just all over the place. Like, he's a really cool fight. I'm just super biased as a gunner.
That's fair.
I like the gunner opinion. This is gonna be the good spread we got here in people.
Oh, true. Yeah, I haven't touched the ranged weapon yet.
You got all the valid opinions, and you got the Unga Bunga longsword opinion.
How about you, Rad?
I'm gonna like just right out the gates here. I'm just gonna tell you, A tier easily A tier monster. And like that should say a lot coming from me. I'm just saying I don't like bird wyverns in like almost any capacity except for Jaggy, Baggi, and Rocky, who I found out recently are Cuckoo's fine. Blue Yan Cuckoo's fine. I like Blue Yan Cuckoo. Great monster.
Okay.
I love the color scheme. But like I'm not a big bird wyvern guy, especially like Kulu-Ya-Ku. Not a fan. But Aknosom's so elegant. Like it really impressed me. And when birds have those big ass beaks, like the really big long beaks, that is the most intimidating, scary thing on an animal to me. So when I ran into that monster, I was like, okay, this monster means business. But then you beat the shit out of it. So like to the point that it's like the monarchy, and then like you just completely dismantle it and they're just like left on the floor writing in pain.
I guess a good point we should... Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, I tell you what, since you didn't like Kulu and bird wyverns, I will change your mind when we get to him.
Okay, deal.
I guess a big point we should come across is like what weapons we use when we play through Rise, because that's gonna definitely make a difference in the opinions for sure. I use hunting horn personally. I thought that was
Okay.
an absolute blast. How about you, Hernie?
I only played Hammer for everything until like the end of the hub, like with the final boss. I don't know if we're saying the name already, but
Is this a
on the tier
spoiler?
list.
Is this
So-
spoiler? Yeah.
It's on the board.
Yeah, it's on the tier list already. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, Narwa. It wasn't until Narwa where I was like, I should probably use a different weapon. But yeah, Hammer all the way through.
Nice. Dude, not gonna lie, for Narwhal, I thought everyone was saying Narwhal as like a code name.
That's what I
Narwhal.
did.
Narwhal.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I was like, there's no monster called Narwhal. Like, is that like a
what the
joke
fuck are you
name?
talking
Yeah,
about?
it's the
so-
code name. Yeah, the spoiler-free name. It's like it's some whale type thing.
Yeah, because we had a code name for what was it, Zeno and Safi or something? It was like Jeff or whatever. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, Jeff.
I do vaguely remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh, okay, it's a narwhal. It's like narwhal, all right. And then I got to it's like a new monster narwhal. I'm like,
Yeah, they
wait,
should make a
hold
narwhal
on a
fight.
minute.
That'd be
They
sick.
should make an Narwhal. I think
They would have to
Frontier
bring back
had, like, one
underwater
kinda like-
combat
Most
first.
difficult horn break.
Yeah.
Yes. What about you, Moko? What weapon did you use?
Since the demo and playing base game, I played all 14, but I really stuck with bow for most of my playthrough. Like once I started throughout the beginning of the game with everything, I was like, all right, I can't start making like this weapon from this monster and this weapon, and then like I gotta change my skills and everything.
Yeah.
I said, let me focus on bow, let me play through the game with it, and then I'll use bow to kind of grab all my other weapons in the end when I get my healer builds kind of
Yeah.
set up. So that's exactly what I did. So for the majority of my gameplay right now, bow. Do I have other weapons right now? Yes, I'll be playing all of them soon.
Sweet. Fem?
My initial playthrough was easy mode with light bow gun.
Nice. Yeah,
Like
dear
easy
gunner.
mode. It's the easiest weapon in the game. Anyone ever asks what weapon should they use to practice or learn? Just play light bow gun. It's no effort.
What about you, Rad?
Hi, I'm Super Rad, and I play longsword. I am, I'm no
All right,
Peppo,
so we can
but
completely disregard all your opinions.
yeah, I'm no Peppo. I said this earlier on one of my streams. I was like, I don't bring the skill of longsword. I bring the the charisma, the
The
chutzpah.
charisma. Oh my goodness. So are we talking about gear now? So in terms of the gear that you get from Aknosom, how about you, Hernie?
I have no idea about the armor. I like killed him and didn't look at it and kept going. But he has some nice fire weapons, so I will.
Dude, his greatsword is sick as fuck.
Yeah,
like-
look at this great sword.
His weapons look cool, and they have like pretty solid fire. Like the lance,
Right.
It's a really good fire lance. So I know about the weapons. I dig the weapons, pretty damn solid. But I have no idea what skills the gear gives. Sorry, guys.
Also, the Palamute armor.
Oh yeah,
Super
it's
cool.
pretty cool.
Man, it looks
Solid.
like freaking knight armor. It looks crazy. But
I
you,
really
Coco?
liked. Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I like the aesthetic that they gave, that whole knight vibe to Aknosom's gear. I think it
Yeah.
matches nice, especially with the fact that like his crest or crown kind of goes into like the side panels and the skirting to the armor. So again, on the whole aesthetic part, beautiful looking armor set. I like the fact that it's knightly. That's my kind of thing. Weapon wise, I did notice, like Henry said, fire. It's gonna be a pretty good starting fire weapon. It does decent fire damage. Armor wise, skill wise, like also like Henry said, I killed the thing, looked at it for a second, I was like, wide range, no. Speed eating, no. Free meal, nah. All right, I'm good. And then I kept going for me personally, but I didn't remember much else other than that.
Gotcha. Fem?
His armor is actually not terrible. It's got peak performance, and because there's no
Oh, wow.
decoration for peak performance, if you get like a peak charm, you're gonna want to use his armor. But I'm just a huge fan of his Palamute gear because it's so good looking.
Gotcha.
Solid.
Rad?
Aesthetically, his armor is really nice. It's like a, I don't know, it's like a more traditional knight style than like the Rathian armor, which
Yeah.
is like really cool. I really like that. And his longsword's super cool. It's like a rapier or whatever you call
Yeah.
those, like
Yeah.
the
Oh,
stabby,
yeah?
the
Oh, that's
stabby
cool.
long swords. Stabby swords. So really cool. It was a really good weapon to use early on in lowering because it was like it had like high fire element and like really a lot of green or something like that. So it was really good for that. But I couldn't tell you anything about its skills. I liked it. I thought he was cool. Like I said, great monster, great set, super fun, fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Real gamer. He
Real
definitely looks
gamer.
like he has like a light up keyboard or something.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
I don't think I really talked about the monster in general yet, but like I think that like I really like the monster. Like his fight was pretty cool, and like his fire moves that he would surprise you with sometimes like was really nice. Cause like every time you went against him, it feels like he would do something different and do something new. And like you guys said, like he's a great like starting monster where it's just like not all of them are gonna be very similarly played. In terms of the way the armor looks, I really love the look of the armor. I love the Ignite look, but it wasn't my go-to I'm gonna make this armor set kind of thing in the beginning. And then the weapons, from what I've seen, look really cool. I haven't really taken a good look at them, but the longsword sounds sick.
It is. It's so cool.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you, he's an A rank monster. If I just.
You really think he's A tier?
I think he's A tier. Yeah, he's cool. He's elegant. He's scary.
As a conglomerate and like the big picture thing, like not just our experience with Aknosom, but like the community and the players' experience, like the fact that he has a different, and I call it time signature when it comes to like the fight itself being delayed for you musicians out there, but the time signature fight of that monster is offbeat compared to the normal that you normally feel like when you're playing Monster Hunter. So it forces you to think on your feet. You're not going to be comfortable fighting Aknosom in the beginning, but you're going to learn quickly. It's an effective fight, and it kind of teaches you, hey, this is a different monster. It does different things differently. Get used to it, because you're going to start fighting other monsters that have like delayed attacks or jukes thrown in there. That's something I like to see in my monsters, especially in the beginning of the game. You did good there, Capcom. A solid starter monster. I would agree with the whole A tier just because of the full package. Will we be fighting him in endgame? Probably not, unless something special happens or maybe something comes out.
What? Come on, you shoot him out of the sky 17 times in a rampage hunt.
Oh,
that's right.
Oh, yeah.
I see him come out and I'm like,
Oh yeah,
Rampage doesn't matter.
Annoying. Yeah.
We got some Apex
Well, you say
monsters
that,
in
but
here,
we have
actually.
3 Apex monsters on this chart.
Yeah.
Oh, stop. Oh, man. Yeah, I know. I will say it's funny that like we look at his like time signature, like you're saying, as like such a positive, but like the next monster over, I hate the next monster over for the same reason.
This is where we can flex the good side and bad side about that time signature stuff, bro.
I see two ways. I see two ways. We're already winning this, so.
Yes,
Who's
I
next?
probably
Who's
would
next?
either agree with either A or B. Like I would.
I was gonna say a B tier.
I was gonna say
think
B.
He's a solid average
fair.
monster. I don't think he's above average in terms of how unique his fight is. His cosmetically, he looks great, but I think his fight's just a little slow. He just have some really weird, wonky attacks, but he's not one of the monsters I really like to fight. So I'd say he's solid B tier.
Also in terms
I'd
of
say B
gear
as well.
Yeah, in terms of gear, I don't see us really using any of his gear really, aside from maybe like in the beginning. So for me personally, I'll probably put B.
Oh, you guys. Oh. I can take a B tier. Because, like, for me, like, most bird wyverns, like I said, are, like, really low for me. So, like, you know what? That's fine. That's fine.
We'll put it at B.
I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit coconuts.
Begrudgingly.
I'm good with the
Putting it in
sacrifice too, because in a grand scheme of things, like I said, beginning game, great fight. End game, you don't see him too much. Sadly, he does get left behind a little bit. And that, if he wasn't left behind in end game, I would probably push more towards A for that, with that in consideration.
Where's our Apex or Arc Tempered Aknosom, man?
It's coming.
Capcom, you listening to this, right?
Dude, I hope.
Okay, here's a dumb, stupid thing. A theoretical new move I want to see, because he's supposed to be based upon a Kappa. I want to see him as like an Apex version, jump into the air and kind of like spin around a bit with like his frill down, so he's like his umbrella spinning and just shooting fireballs randomly
That
around.
would actually be sick.
That sounds like a straight out of Neo, because
That sounds sick.
and it scares me, but that sounds sick. And if I saw that, me and Jiren Kuropeko have a special relationship with what that monster is based off of in Neo 2 and Neo. I agree with you. That'd be great, but that also would be scary as hell.
Oh man.
Yo, email Capcom, man.
Email Capcom. Just like listen.
No,
that
just
sounds cool.
just
Wanna
DM
pitch this
I don't think
idea?
Capcom wants anything to do with me.
Oh no. So Almudron. How do you guys pronounce it?
Okay, let's skip the conversation,
I'm
drop
gonna-
him in D tier.
D tier. Oh man.
D tier. No, I agree.
Put him in D tier, but we'll talk about why.
Okay, the only reason why he's not in F tier or lower is because his armor.
Because we don't
looks
have
sick.
it.
Yeah. There's an interesting thing about that. The whole like the fight being X, Y, and Z, or like the monster versus aesthetically. I'm seeing three things here. I'm seeing aesthetically, this is what the monster's like. The fight itself, and then the gear, and then whether or not you're going to be using this gear towards like your end game builds. I think those are like the 3 or 4 parts about what we're discussing.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a lot to say about
gotta-
this specifically for this monster. So
I have a lot to say about it too.
Scoy,
but
take it away.
Ernie, go for it, man.
I'll try and consolidate everything this time.
Okay.
So yeah, his gear's pretty sick. Like the skills are cool, and it looks. I think it's like one of the coolest sets in the game. I remember in the demo,
sure.
I kept thinking it was gonna be from a bug, because usually traditionally like the tech like Gundam like Guyver looking gear usually is like from bugs or insects, but it was from this like sea otter thing, so that was kind of random.
Sea otter shrimp.
But even then, the armor cannot salvage this monster. First off, my biggest complaint: why his tail look like that? Why does it look like a centipede? I really hate centipedes. Like, I really don't like centipedes. I fuck with spiders. Like, I don't mind bugs or creepy crawlies, but I just really don't like centipedes. And his tail, like, when I look at his tail, I actually like, it gives me like the weird shoulder shimmy. So I like when he's carrying the boulder, because I don't have to see, because it moves like
The boulder is
weird.
the worst part of that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even like the boulder mechanically, but I like when he's carrying it because I don't have to look at his tail. So I immediately dislike him because of his tail. But yeah, his fight's kind of weird. Like, while playing through the story, I was kind of like learning and getting like a decent read on every monster. And that was the first monster. Like, and I was playing with hammer, so like, you know, everything had like something you can punish, some method of head sniping, some kind of setup you could do. And then I fought him, and I was like, I don't even know where he's aiming at. So, yeah, he has really cool moves. He's kind of like cool to watch. Like, if Monster Hunter had like an ecology video or like some kind of Animal Planet documentary, he'd be super cool. Like, his segment would be awesome. But fighting him is a different story. Like, I don't even think he's hard. I just have no idea what's going on. I kind of just throw hitboxes out there and hope they land on either the head or tail.
That's the problem, right? It's like you just can't see what he's doing.
Yeah. There's like a lot more mud than advertised with the trailer.
It's a whole meme of, what are you aiming at?
He looks super cool. He's pretty awesome. He's pretty unique. I don't know what's going on with this guy. People have been calling him the Namiel of Rise, and I kind of see it.
Yeah, I see it.
He's a muddy
I don't know
Mushu,
enough
that's what
about
he is.
Namiel, honestly. I maybe fought that thing like once.
Yeah, I don't hate the monster, but because I don't know what's going on, and I needed a plate from him, I put him in D. And that's my vote. Yeah.
So you didn't need the gem then?
No, I haven't needed a gem yet. I just needed the
I did.
I still need one, the golden orb or whatever.
What for? I only needed it for the Scalda wastes. You need a gem at some point?
I think for the last longsword, you need an orb.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Light bowgun and heavy bow, or light bowgun and bow. I needed 2 of them.
I needed one for the chest piece because it had razor sharp on it, and I didn't feel like dealing with the RNG of the tailsmans. Because I needed it for the Nargacuga hunting horn.
Sorry, go ahead. I interrupt a lot.
Oh, you're good. I needed it for the Nargacuga hunting horn. So, because like it has a very tiny white sharpness, so I wanted to retain as much as possible. So I just put on the razor sharp.
So I was dumb in that I needed 3 orbs, because not only did I need it for the light bow gun and the bow, but when I saw his armor, I was like, fucking razor sharp? Great. And I failed to realize that they separated razor sharp and spare shot in Rise. They're 2 separate skills. I was like, fucking spare shot, 2 armor, let's go. And then I made it, and I was like, wait a minute.
Damn.
This isn't adding up.
Damn.
So I wasted my orb on that.
Oh no. How about you, Moko?
All right. Almudron.
Oh no, he likes it.
Aesthetically, it looks freaking cool. I love the idea. I think having like a pseudo shrimp otter monster with its tail holding stuff, it's cool. It's different. It's weird. I dig it. The fight, I don't know about you fellas, but when a shrimp monster thing, or a monster in general, picks up an object and incorporates it into the fight. I'm thinking about my Kulu-Ya-Ku picks up a rock or a pot. I'm thinking about my Tetranadon. It picks up a big-ass rock. I have pseudo-gunner experience, so Fen might agree with me on this, or even Blade Masters too. Listen to this. When I hit said object the monster grabs, I bounce off. I don't do any damage. Why is the best hitbox, from what I can tell with bow, because I'm hitting my highest numbers, when I hit the boulder?
Because it's
Yeah,
not
it's
a,
like
it's
80
mud.
hits
It's a mud orb. It's not a
a
rock.
mud orb
Okay,
that
you guys
holds
keep
in it?
saying rock and mud. Let me tell you, it's not any of those.
It's not
You think
any.
he's
It's
swinging-
dung. It's dung. isn't
Yeah.
it?
It's dog.
He's
then,
swinging
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Because here's the
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Here's the thing you guys
Oh,
don't
yeah.
realize. It's brown like mud, and it looks like mud, but mud's not toxic. You know what it is?
No.
Shit. And you touch his little piles, you start
And it
losing
kills you.
life, and it drains you. It's not
Pretty
mud.
fast.
Do you get
Dude.
soiled or do you get? If you don't get soiled, it's not dung.
When I first experienced that monster in the hunt, it was just like the mud and everything. I was like wondering what I was dying from, because I was very low in health and then I died.
Oh yeah.
But nothing
So you
happened. I was
stood
like,
in that and just
where? And then I was just like,
Yeah.
oh,
And it's quick.
Yep.
It's quick. It reminds me of like the toxic instead of just a regular poison, but like the speed of your health going down reminds me of like the toxic from like your Dread Queens and stuff. But now back to the fight. It's like what Henry said. It's so much going on because it's almost like it, to me, it separates into two pieces. When it's in the mud as much as it is, you have like the tail sticking out where you can start hitting that, and then it like noodles into the ground, and that's inactive hit zone, and then the head comes out and its body is there for the most part usually when it's not out of the mud. That gets a little rough for some people because by the time you run to the part you want to hit, if you're not shooting it, it goes and does another move and it goes into the ground and it turns an inactive hitbox. It gets a little rough to fight it. I fought, sadly enough, I was chilling out. I was hanging out with Feywell. He was going for something for his dual blades, I believe, and he needed an orb. He killed like 30 or 40 before I showed up. I killed like another 10, 20 with him. It was rough to get the orb, but he got it finally. The gear, now to segment into the gear, you need that stuff for it. The gear itself, from like an overall perspective, sometimes there's going to be something in that set that you're going to need to incorporate into what you're doing depending on the weapon you're playing. I think the most appealing, one of the more appealing parts of that set are for your morph damage. So your switch axes and your charge blades are going to be using that a lot, if I remember correctly, based on skills. And that's a monster that's going to be kind of wanted. It's needed. It's a needed monster in terms of its skills, but then the fight kind of drags it down and turns it into a chore almost instead of a more fun fight. And that's in just my opinion. Like, I know everyone's going to have their own different way about that, but that's what that goes on with that. Endgame wise, I feel like it depends on what you're building is whether or not you're going to need this monster.
Where would you rank
Definitely.
it?
Where would I rank them? The fight. The fight is the biggest part for me.
How about we get back to you on that then? How about you, Fem?
Yeah.
What do you?
D
What do you
tier.
think of this?
D tier horrible fight.
Like the fight, not just the... He's like, no,
We've
not
heard
even
enough
explain
about
anything.
Almudron.
D tier.
We've all heard enough about him. He
If we're going
sucks.
for fight
we
only,
all hate
D.
him.
If we're going for the fight, just based off of the fight, I would say D. But the fact that his gear is somewhat wanted,
Now the gear saves it from F.
yeah. You know what?
Saves it from being not on the. Okay.
So
There you go.
we have a new
let my
section
cat
called
out
dog
real
shit.
Did you call it dog shit?
I call it dog shit.
All right.
Okay,
like
so
that.
the gear saves him from dog shit, but he's right above it.
He's right
Yeah,
above
he's like
dog
in the
shit.
middle. He's like literally in the middle.
He is dog shit. Like, now that we have the dog shit, I'm gonna say dog shit. I hate that fight so much, man. I really think it's such a. I don't actually think he's dog shit. I would definitely say D. I think the thing that he has going for him is that he has such a unique fight, but it's so annoying to learn. But
Yeah.
it's not even necessarily his fight that bothers me. It's the fact that we have 2 mud monsters returning to this game. And they brought in a third mud monster, which is just another water element. Like, I don't mind having another water element monster, but I would have liked it to be unique, something like Namiel, which I don't know if that was water element. I thought that thing-
Zamtrios.
Zamtrios? You could have brought Zamtrios back, and you brought friggin' the demon dogs? Like, come on.
Demon dogs.
I will say there are a couple positives that stop him from being in dog shit. His longsword looks really cool. I can't use his equipment, so whatever about that. But I will say, he looks like this motherfucker here. If you look at my screen, and I thought that was really sick. I am big.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big Kingdom Hearts nerd,
Yeah,
and I
okay.
really liked his armor set. And I was like praying to God that his fight was going to be sick. It didn't live up to it for me, so D tier. Not quite dog shit, but almost.
To piggyback
Almost
off
there.
of Rad, aesthetically, I didn't even talk about the armor itself. It actually looks freaking badass.
I want
like
it to
Henry
be
said, like
layered
Rad said, you look
right
like a
now.
Gundam. You look badass, and it does look like it comes from an insect monster, honestly, because in the past that's what our
Yeah.
insect monsters gave us. Which is
thought
Did
people were
anyone
kidding.
realize that
Is
the
he an
female
insect?
armor set
I'm
looks
all
like
for us.
Taokaka?
Yeah.
What?
The female version of his gear looks like Taokaka from BlazBlue.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I have yet to explore female looking armor. I do like a whole thing with like Switch. I do male and then PC. I'll do female when it comes to it. I'm excited to look into the female armor, but
Skoj, what do you think of him?
I think the fight is.
Wait, what weapon
Honestly,
do you play
listen,
again?
You're
What
my
weapon
friend.
do you
Be
play?
honest. Be
I
honest.
played mostly
People say
hunting horn.
it's weapon dependent, which like
I feel like it is.
I can't believe
No,
that.
it's not. I'll tell you, even from
Yeah.
range weapon standpoint, it's shit.
It's rough.
When I was really grinding up his orb, I was playing hammer most of the time, so I'm on the same boat as like Herney. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I would. Like the mud gets really the mud the poop gets really annoying. The poop.
See, I didn't know it was toxic. Is it really toxic?
It is.
It
like,
is, if you
stand
touch the
in
mud,
there,
it
It starts to
life.
kill you slowly.
It
If it has
drains
the
your
golden
health.
aura around
Pretty
it,
fast,
if it has the
yeah.
golden aura around it, and you touch it, you're gonna watch your health actually just sap away. It's kind of wild.
Yo.
I guess I'm just too good. I never noticed that. Like never really.
You saw the golden
I know.
before,
I
you're like,
understand
I'm staying away from
100%. Longsword is really hard to lose with. I get
Yeah.
it.
Don't worry. I talk about that in what I'm working on currently. I'm like no, this it's too good now. It's too.
It's too good.
Almudron
It
saw
is,
a longsword
though.
come in and said, "All right, here you go, take my orb."
Its
Just
tail
have
is
fun.
really annoying when it like comes in with a random slam every now and then, and but I don't know. I would probably place it like either C or D for me, like because the armor itself looks absolutely amazing aesthetically. I love the way it looks. You look like
The
freaking
aesthetics helping you out then with that. Okay.
yeah, something from Bionicle or something like that. Wherever
It sounds like a I think it's 3 for D right now and 1
Yeah.
for maybe C.
Ernie,
Coconut,
did
did
you
you
give your
say
opinion
C?
on rank?
I said D, but I might. I mean, now that we
Don't jump ship.
Just put it in D. I'm
or
sorry,
is he
Squid, you've been
jumping the
vetoed.
dog shit?
No.
Where are you jumping to?
I'll stay with D. I'll stay with D.
Yeah, see,
Okay.
peer pressure. That's how we do it.
Have you ever going back to high school? So
I
Stays
personally
with you
don't
long
actually
after
think.
that, man.
What's up? What's up?
No, I was answering Scoy's. Peer pressure stays with you after high school, bro.
Yeah. I actually really don't think anything is like even I mean maybe memeing, but like personally, I don't think anything's dog shit in this game in Rise. They for
Frame
me at
rate
least.
is.
you see, this is just
A
a
lot of it
debate.
was cleaned up.
A debate
A lot of it
section.
was cleaned up.
We'd
Who did you
actually.
say? Who'd you say?
I said the frame rate is.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think at the moment I don't think there's anything I would put in dog shit currently. So like if except for
Yeah.
the meme, like Khezu for sure. Khezu would definitely fit in dog shit. for topical reasons, obviously.
I'll place an S.
For S,
We'll get to that. Anyway,
yeah,
The gatekeeper.
He's use a high
the
A tier at
gatekeeper.
least.
I find that so funny.
I love the
Oh, I'd put
schlong-looking
I'd put
monster.
Anjanath. I know where I'd put Anjanath.
Oh man! All right, so
Oh,
I
actually,
guess
we could have a good conversation about Anjanath. I think it's interesting that we got a lot of world returning monsters
that's
already.
cool.
Yeah.
I think that's nice.
Actually.
Interesting is a word for it for sure.
It is an interesting choice.
But yeah, the weapons wise, I think they all look amazing. They're on that. I don't know how do people really use his weapons or
I look at them.
His bow and his
Almudron?
light bow gun are really good.
nice.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I'd use the longsword. I assume it's like a water longsword. I'd have to check again, but like Mizutsune is there, and like I would aesthetically rather use Mizutsune's longsword.
All right, so I guess we're placing in D.
Yep.
All right. So next up we got Anjanath.
Am I going first once again?
Yes.
one kind of theme that I noticed with a lot of the world returning monsters is that they all kind of put up a better fight, which is kind of cool. Like this is random, but one of the first things that killed me in the story was like Tobi. Like Tobi fucked me up, which is really funny. But we'll talk more about him when we get there. But yeah, Anjanath, he is like slightly more enjoyable to me. I didn't really like hate him in World. It was like, oh damn, I need an Anjanath gem for this thing, and like I'd go do him. I'd bring my heavy bowgun and just shoot him in the butt, and then like he'd die. So like I kind of never really did him. But yeah, I really don't have much to say to him. Like he feels kind of okay. With Hammer, he felt pretty nice. I actually really enjoyed him with the Courage style. Just because like you keep like aiming kind of up or kind of high. He has moves that like he actually pauses a couple of times, like after his like double bite or something. He has like two moves where he kind of just stops right there and like leaves his head there, which was kind of nice. Unfortunately, he still has like the dumb. He's still Anjanath, so he still has like the ground shovel bite move, which is like still annoying. He
actually moves in this though.
Yeah, he can like aim it better. He still does the world jump that they gave him, like a lot of things in World did, where they just got like aim over there and then like jump. But it's like faster, it ends quicker. So yeah, he's kind of okay. His gear is really solid, especially now that I've been playing more Greatsword. I actually really dig his gear. I've always liked his gear. I like fur on stuff, so his gear's like it looks the same from World, so you guys already know what it looks like, but it looks solid. The skills are solid. Yeah, I think he's like C tier for me, because he's still Anjanath. Like he's ever so slightly more enjoyable, but like I wouldn't hunt him if I didn't have to for like a gem or a plate or whatever.
Yeah. I would say, like, for a lot of these monsters, it's really cool how they integrated like wire bugs into them, because they aim upwards now. A lot of them aim like more up, which is really cool. Like Rajang, his beam shoots up.
Dude, his fireball, dude, he will snipe you out of the air.
Yeah. Well, the beam's new, right? He didn't have that before.
Rajang?
Did he have? No, not Rajang. Oh, I thought you meant Anjanath.
Oh no, I was just saying his beam. Rajang, he aims his beam up. What?
Yeah.
No, Anjanath's beam though. That's been a thing.
Yeah, he had like a straight flame breath.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Does that go up?
Gotcha. It's basically if you didn't pop his throat like Galavinus, he would do that to end his red throat state in World, but now it doesn't end his red throat state.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know you had that. You guys know so much more about the World monsters than I do.
I have over 2,000 hours in World, so this is a little.
God damn.
But yeah. What about you, Moko?
So Anjanath, it's good seeing that this is like the first returning world monster we're talking about. Aesthetically, it's Anjanath. It's that pink dinosaur that everyone's like, wow, that looks really basic. It's a very simple design, and the nose bones there with the little wings, and the hitboxes change depending on. I like that. I do want to say that two things that we touched upon earlier. The whole aiming thing. If you're in the air, these monsters now actually go towards you. Like they'll come at you while you're in the air, which is, I think, awesome to see that be incorporated. I think the fight from World, what we experienced first, to what we're experiencing now in Rise, is a little bit tighter, a little bit cleaner. Like Henry said, I enjoy the fact that these monsters with certain attacks, they'll attack you and then they give you a little window of opportunity. That's always been a big thing that I didn't see as much of in World. Where in Rise I'm seeing and noticing that you can actually punish your monsters, and like I can feel comfortable saying, hey, like Anjanath just came at me with that double bite and he just stays there for a couple seconds. I can punish that if I appropriately respond. So it's almost like playing that like no, like Uno, like no you, like this is gonna be going back and forth. Like it turns into an actual like song and dance almost, where you have a message coming at you from the monster. If you respond appropriately, you can punish it back. I enjoy that. The gear, I actually enjoyed the Anjanath gear for a lot of the attack boost that it started you out with early. The coil, the waist part, that gave me attack 2 and some decent slottage on there to be able to kind of incorporate it into my healer build. So I actually do use the Anjanath, an Anjanath piece in there. The weapons themselves do have negative affinity on them, but it depends on what you're doing with it. It depends on how you're kind of incorporating into the build. Are there other options? Absolutely. I'm looking at you, Aknosom, with fire. In terms of would I be farming it, I think I actually do need an Anjanath gem for something off the top of my head I can't remember, but it's not killing me that I haven't gotten it yet. It's just one of those monsters, like was said earlier. Hey, bro, I got to do an Anjanath. You want to jump in with me? Yeah, like, let's just do it. I'm not displeased by the fight. I enjoy it. I think I have a better time with it in general in Rise compared to World 2. So I really do enjoy seeing improvements. I think there was improvement from World Angie to Rise Angie. So good job. I would probably place it in the C-ish tier because it's like nothing crazy, but it's not horrible either. It's very neutral. It's a very chill fight for me.
The middle, yeah.
Nice. How about you, fam?
I don't want to be a party pooper here, but I'm just saying we're like 35 minutes in and we're like on the third monster. We should probably pick up the pace.
Oh, yeah.
Why not just do fight?
Anjanath, I do like Anjanath's fight. I really liked him in World. His gear is really good in Rise. I just think he's pretty plain. He didn't really change at all going from World to Rise, which is kind of a shame. But I don't hate the fight. He does have some pretty janky hitboxes with like his hip check and his jumps and stuff.
The shovel.
Oh, yeah, the shovel jaw is fine too. Like it's annoying, but I mean that's just his signature shit.
Yeah.
But I don't hate Anjanath. I would probably put him in like a B tier to be honest.
Cool.
Rad?
D tier. D tier.
What?
Garbage monster. He's better in Rise, but I always found his design to be so bland in a game that I found it
He is whack,
very unique monsters. He has the things on his back and the nose thing, but like it's a Tyrannosaurus but pink. You know, at least with Rathalos, it's a very like stylized form of a wyvern. Dragon? Wyvern? I always get that wrong.
It's not a dragon. Dragons have 4 limbs.
What? I always get yelled at for that. So yeah, I don't know. The fight's a little bit better, so I wouldn't put him in like dog shit or anything like that. But I definitely think he's like a D tier monster. But I have like
That's fair.
he's easier in Rise. I found.
Yeah.
I do get that his design is plain.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to go with D tier, guys. I'm sorry.
Valid.
That's right.
I haven't found much use of Anjanath myself. All I got was like the gloves, which was like they had Slugger on it, which was nice for like hammer and all the bonk type weapons. But design wise, I would have to kind of agree that it's just a regular dinosaur looking monster.
Yeah.
But I think like I just keep on remembering when I saw it in World, like when you're like going into like the Great Gyras quest, you see this like Anjanath walking by, like this big like monster walking by. You're like, I want to fight that later, and then you try fighting and you just die. But the I would say for Rise, it wasn't really a monster that I hunted much at all. I would probably place in like C or D.
You gotta pick one.
The equalizer.
Yeah, so we got like 3 C's or 3? We got a B.
The B and the D
I
cancel each other
was
out.
a B, but
Yeah.
I mean, you can put it in D if you want. I'm just a sucker for Anjanath. I thought he was a really good monster in World, but I understand that in Rise he's very plain and his hitboxes suck. So
Do they suck?
Yeah.
I actually
Yeah.
don't know. I actually don't know if they suck.
he's got some jank.
Okay, got you.
It's a little jankiness behind him.
So I say like mutually, I think C would be.
That would keep him in C then, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'd be
Very
good.
disappointed. Very
I'm
disappointed.
very
guys.
disappointed.
Thought you had better taste.
Apex Arzuros, he's an Arzuros. I find Arzuros kind of lame. I've never been a big fan of him, but I will say that traditionally he's always had shit boxes, and for whatever reason he's like not terrible with his hitboxes here. Like his hands actually take some decent damage, and that kind of transferred over to Apex. And traditionally a lot of the Apexes are kind of taking after their Deviant with a couple of moves. But I hate Red Helm, so I don't like Apex that much. But I didn't like hate him. Maybe it's because like the first Rampage I did was pretty cool, so I was like, oh, it kind of tied the coolness to him. And I have not done him since. I helped like 2 people on stream with it, but I haven't done him in like a week. which seems I know it's not that long, but when a new Monster Hunter game comes out, like time flies by. So yeah, he's like I'd have to go with D. He's still Arzuros. He's not that fun.
Moko?
Arzuros. He exists. The Apex version, again, he exists. Like Henry said, it's nice to see that they kind of put Arzuros in there. You fought him, you kind of forgot about him, and then all of a sudden you're doing your first rampage with like that serious tone on it, and then it's Apex Arzuros. Holy crap. You fight it, and then it's done. You kind of don't do much else after that. The fight itself, I do like the idea behind it. I like the whole mechanic that, hey, we're going to take some deviant moves and kind of spice it up. Like, oh, you guys know what the deviant version of Arzuros is like? Well, check this out. And that was a nice surprise, actually. That was a nice introduction. The first fight I had against an Apex monster, I was very curious to see what was going to be incorporated in things. Yeah. Seeing that come and Capcom have a pool of moves a monster can use, and instead of dedicating a specific version of it for that, they'll say, okay, we're going to call this Apex, but we're going to like snip these guys' moves from here and put them there. That excites me, because that means we don't know what we're going to see moving forward. I do like the fact that it's tied into the mechanic. Fem has actually talked about this in the past, where do we want to fight them by themselves? I think it would be cool, but at the same time, that may invalidate the whole idea of a rampage in itself. So
Good.
That's what some people want, which is funny.
Yeah.
Good.
I would say probably D tier, just because of the fact that he has those two wow pop factors. The very, very beginning, you fight him, you're done, and then it's time to fight him in the rampage mode on his Apex. You did it. I've yet to fight him again, other than helping out people on stream, like I said. Yeah.
Them?
Poo-poo garbage here. Apex monsters hit half the screen without any noticeable hitbox. You just get hit randomly because
he sat down
and he's
here,
stuck
like,
in Rampage, and Rampage is awful, and he's Arzuros, and he's already awful. Just all the way at the bottom.
All the way at the bottom. Red?
I can't even remember what I put on, but like I actually have I like when I made my tier list, I actually like Rampages less than when I made that one. I have fought each Apex once, and I could not, other than Rathian having the deviant mechanic of putting down like those spikes or whatever it can do.
That was cool.
I like the deviant mechanics. I would love to see these monsters not be walled off by Rampages.
Yeah, definitely.
And I actually really like Arzuros. I like his design a lot. I think like to take the concept of a bear and make it look so unique. They really did all of the Apexes dirty, in my opinion, by just turning them into very like dark purple color schemes in comparison to what the Deviants and Generation Ultimate look like. So I'm gonna say dog shit tier, garbage. Very unhappy with my opinion would change if they gave me an event quest where I could hunt it in the arena or something, and really like to learn it and enjoy it. But right now, dog shit.
I personally would probably place either D or dog shit for me. Like I was kind of disappointed knowing the fact that we're not going to hunt it anymore, aside from just the
gatekeep moment. Yeah,
the gatekeep. What was it called? We just named it.
Rampage.
Why was that name?
I know, it's that forgettable. I get it, Skoy.
Yeah. No, it was like I had the word.
Secret
it was like
shade.
gone. But no, like when I first experienced it, I was just I thought it was hilarious how it came in and it entered itself. It literally like flopped into its ass.
It just flops in and breaks the gate.
That's another dumb thing about the Rampage, by the way. It's just anytime the Apex enters, it completely
just go to
invalidates
the
your whole
end.
first area.
Just might as well go
it's
to
just
the
like,
end.
okay.
dude, so many people came in and were like, oh my god, this is so hard, it just blasted through my first area. I was like, nah, that seems to be scripted. Like everyone just loses the first gate when they show up.
Yeah.
Like it's a thing. There's a whole separate fighting area for those monsters.
It's so sneaky. When it did that, I was like, oh, the back gate is fucked. Like I lost.
Yeah. I was like, oh damn. Like I started holding myself a little bit. I was like, oh, what am I gonna do? And then it didn't break the second gate. I'm like, oh
yeah.
This is
I thought
you throw an 8,000 damage nuke on it, and you're like, okay, I got this.
I really thought, like, because people were like, oh, Rampages are, like, some people were saying they were easy, some people were saying they were hard, and I was like, okay, like, they actually seem pretty easy, because I was doing them with a group of 4. Well, maybe not that one. I think I did that one solo, and I was doing it, And then I was like, okay, this isn't too bad. I'm sure like the Apex will spice it up. And then it comes in, I'm like, oh no, it's hard. I messed up. Because he like goes off all the way to the end. And I was like, and then they were like, no. Like that's how it's supposed to happen. And I was like, oh, okay, thank God.
I guess that's the only one of the only things I don't really like is how scripted that is too, I guess. Because it's just like he comes in, destroys everything, you have to go to the end. Just like whenever it's just pretty much whenever an Apex or Ibushi comes in, just go to the end because there's nothing you can do about it. But
I don't mind too much scripting in my hunts. Like just like a bit like to like make the progression go. That one wasn't like egregious. Like it just sent you into an arena essentially. Like it wasn't too bad. Gen Moran does that once you hit like a certain point.
Learned it, I was like, oh okay, this is what it does. Like everybody else, calm down, relax, it's okay. Like, I don't mind that.
But the hunt itself, I feel like it's very forgetful. I feel like it looks aesthetically like really cool, like the Apex Arzuros, and then the regular Arzuros too looks pretty cool. But I think in terms of the monster and even his Apex form, I feel like it's pretty forgetful. So I would personally probably either place it in D or dog shit.
We gotta get Scoj to pick like.
One
ranks.
Just actual ranks.
Like one rank. You gotta pick
I'll
one.
place it in dog shit. I've
okay,
been shitting on it the entire time.
Yes, thank you. That's 2 for dog shit. What were the other ones?
I think that was 3 for dog shit tier.
3 for dog shit.
I think dog shit does win. Yeah.
We're calling it that. All right.
I can't tell who was after Arzuros. Oh, Pink Rathian.
It's Apex Rathian.
Alphabetical.
Put it in the dog shit tier.
Rathian.
I like Apex Rathian, honestly. I hate that it's in Rampage and you only fight it like once or twice.
You know, to piggyback off of that, I wish the Apex materials you got gave you something extra. Like
their
some extra reward. Let me get a special version of at least one piece of armor or a special addition to a weapon. Like an Apex, almost like an Apex tree off of that monster. That would have been interesting to see. But maybe that's something they'll consider moving forward. So who knows?
Actually, I will say I like Apex Rathian probably one of the most.
Same.
Maybe not the most because I like Mizutsune, but I wouldn't put it in dog shit. Is what I'm saying.
Apex Mizu.
You like it that much.
Apex Mizu.
Is it on this list?
It's not.
What?
Huh?
All right, I'll speed up my consolidated thoughts even more because I ordered some chicken tacos.
Shit!
Apex. I mean, no, I wouldn't leave for like I might get up and go get them.
And then comes back.
I would.
Anyway, Apex Rathian is pretty cool. I didn't really notice it with Apex Arzuros, but here's where I noticed where I was like, oh, Apex are like budget deviants. And I actually like the Dread King and Queen, so I am looking forward to Apex Rathalos because of this. But yeah, Apex Rathian was pretty damn dope. The dark tone, the dark all scratched up, kind of fits with her. Like she looks really dope, and the spikes that she leaves is really cool because Dread Queen was just like a pile of poison and smoke, but here it's like spikes. It looks like bones almost, which is kind of cool. And all of the Apexes have like a really like affected sound effects and roar, and her Apex roar sounds sick. This is a fight that I really hope to see just in like an event quest arena, and I would have really enjoy it. I think she's one of the better Apexes. I'm gonna put her because she's still in a rampage, so for now I'll put her in like B.
B.
Yeah, she's definitely one of my favorite Apexes.
Moko?
The fight aesthetically, the whole mechanic thing where like it looks scarred, it looks like it's been through some shit, and then the fact that it's throwing those bones or those little quills that it has from its tail, that's what you're getting poisoned by. It reminds me a little bit of like what a Nargacuga would do by like hitting you with the spikes, leaving it on the floor. Same idea, except now it has like this effect around it. I like that. I like the fact that there's those deviant mechanics. I love the fight itself. Between that and Mizu, those are like my favorite Apex fights. Still behind Rampages though. It's rougher for me to want to like seek out to do it like that, but whenever I do get the opportunity to do it, I'm like, yo, this is gonna be fun for me. Like I actually really enjoyed it. It puts me on my toes for like my teammates and stuff where they get hit, so I gotta always pay attention to their health, so that's good for me. No gear attached to it sadly yet, no armor or anything like that, so I'm like, all right, I'll put it in C. I'll give it a C for that because the fight itself is just that much more enjoyable to me. I'll put it up higher if we end up getting gear out of it and maybe even an event quest, maybe a rotating event quest possibly, so that way it doesn't completely invalidate the rampage mechanic, so to speak, unless
they're not doing that anymore.
No, then
Yeah,
they're not doing rotations.
if when event quests show up now, they're going to be
Permanent?
They're in.
Yeah,
Oh,
permanent.
yes.
clutch.
Oh my gosh.
That's
Good.
great.
Clutch.
Yeah,
So-
so much better.
Maybe the hypothetical arena only Apexes, they'll give different rewards or something.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I could see that being
We'll
a
make
solution.
it so. If Capcom doesn't, we will.
Yeah.
See, I'm looking at you.
Monster Hunter
That's what I
Rise
think.
Ice.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter Rice.
So you guys kind of convinced me. I am just so annoyed at Rampage that I marked her a lot lower. I would definitely put her in a C tier. She's not a terrible monster and not a terrible fight. I just hate doing rampages and hate that in a rampage, all their attacks hit like fucking all the shit in the area. So you just get knocked off your ballista for randomly no reason at all. I feel like that would change if they put them in their own arena, which is you and them. So I'm going to give her a C tier in the hopes that we get in a one-on-one.
Yeah.
What are we
I
at
love
right
that.
now? What are all the rankings?
I gave it a B.
B, CC, and then red.
BCC. I'm gonna stick with D just because like I really hate how they presented the monster. I do love its design mechanically. I love it. I love like because I loved Deviants and Generations Ultimate. I feel like bringing them back was the right call, but they kind of got the shaft in certain ways, which really is disrespectful to those monsters because they were so cool. So I'm gonna go with D. Yeah. Sorry.
The presentation really killed it for you. No, that's fine.
Rampages just to me like sieges were always something that were so cool and unique in many ways, and rampages were unique in a way, but to make every to basically to say like they basically made it so that they were like, oh, we don't need to have crazy sieges anymore because we had we now have these rampages that we can reuse over and over again. That's how I feel about it. Though I will say the final boss was a very good fight, very very fun fight, and used the mechanics. I'll save for when we get there, but it used the mechanics of wire bugs really well.
Oh, definitely.
We'll talk about that.
The
for sure.
rampages itself, I don't mind too much. I don't actively like go out to seek them and just like, hey, we're going to do a rampage today. Just rampage stream. No. But for the monster itself, the hunt, like I thought it was very cool how they introduced like the spikes, the poison spikes and everything. I thought it was really cool. If it wasn't locked behind a rampage, I would have placed it in like B, but personally I think it would be like C hunt for that. And I would love to see it in like just a normal hunt and just hunt the thing, because I think it'll be really sick.
Yeah.
So I think overall
sound
it's
like
a
C
C.
tier.
It's like C,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Ooh. Apex
Word up.
Mizu. Ready?
Yeah, favorite Mizu.
For Mizu, kind of the same deal. It's like a watered down Soul Seer. Here I definitely felt kind of what Rad was saying. It's like, because Soul Seer is one of my favorite deviants, and
Yeah,
here it
me
definitely
too.
feels like budget Soul Seer.
Budget.
And then here I also feel what Fem's saying. Like I could be just like doing my thing, and all of a sudden I blow up from a bubble. I definitely feel the range and like the AoE-ness with this fight. As cool as it is, as cool as it looks and sounds, sometimes I can't see what's happening. I'm like trying to get to a machine gun, and then I get water beamed, and I didn't even see the water beam start. Like the bubbles, as cool as they are, they hit me randomly. It's still cool, has the potential to be a lot cooler on a solo setting. But this one I'll probably put like I was gonna give it a C, because like if I imagine it solo and not in a rampage, it would be C. But I mean, as it is now, I'm gonna give it a D.
Okay.
Hot take, hot herny take.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I use a lot of Pierce Bow right now when I'm playing Rise, and I think Mizu for me for using Pierce has been a blast. So experiencing the regular playthrough with Mizutsune and a Pierce weapon, it's like my dream. I'm like, I see the great numbers, I see it's a great feeling, it's a good feeling hunt. I hunted my first Apex Mizu last Friday, and I definitely see what Fem and Henry are saying. Like, I'm just chilling, minding my own business, like 3 states away all of a sudden, I get bopped off, and I'm like, yo, what happened? I see Mizu all the way to a bubble just over here.
Just
It happened to be a thing. It's all good. It's not the best. I think they could tighten that up a little bit. But half the time now, I've gotten into the habit of just hitting the gong as soon as this thing comes out, because I want to jump on there and treat it like the Mizutsune it still kind of is. Soulseer Mizu definitely was one of the top tier deviants. Seeing a budget version of it, I think, is going to be interesting right now the way it is, because they're like pseudo versions of themselves, of their deviant versions. In a solo setting, if we were to get it someday, I hope to see more of those moves. I hope to see maybe during the Rampage quest, that's like their early versions, and then the event quest version is like, all right, now this is this deviant version, this Apex version, all grown up. Now you're going to see a lot more moves from it. It's going to impact you differently. Obviously, it's a solo fight, or you and your group. It's going to be a tighter fight. I feel like the Rampage setting, for whatever reason, has just wonked out hitboxes from all the monsters that you're fighting. I feel like if you took it into a solo setting, they might be able to clean that up a little bit, because we've seen some good stuff hitbox wise from some monsters in Rise, and I picked up on that. I was like, all right, cool. I think because it's in a Rampage setting right now, and because it's so different and things are treated differently, and we're not really having the quote unquote best user experience right now, given what we have, I would say D tier as well. Although I have my hopes up for this one. This is like the underdog choice for me. Like, I'm gonna put it in D now, but I'm a hope down the line maybe we'll get like an adult version or a fully rampaged Apex version with more attacks from like your Soul Seers and things like that, and your Dread Queens and Dread Kings. So D.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go with D as well. I actually dislike Apex Mizu more than Apex Rathian, just because it's got way jankier hitbox that when it feels like its water beams hits the whole area.
Yo, yes.
And it's either really, really bad where like the whole area is just getting constantly AoE bombed, or it's always on the ground and it just doesn't get to fight back. Like at least Rathian kind of it's up and down. I'm not a fan of the Apex Mizu fight. Hopefully, I mean, I can't judge it based on what it would be like in a solo encounter right now, but for now, I just don't care for it. I'm gonna have to give it a D tier.
Yeah.
Red?
Oh, D. Easily. The only thing that saves Mizu and Rathian for me is just that their mechanics are more cool than Red Helm, and their designs are cooler in my opinion. So the only reason for me that they're not dog shit is because their designs like bring them up. Essentially.
Yeah.
For me personally, I would probably put in C, because I love the way it entered, and I probably haven't hunted it that much to experience what you guys experienced, because I have no idea about like when it's like sprayed around and everything.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you about the hitboxes or anything.
Yeah.
Like,
let it pull off some moves. Just watch it for a little bit, and you'll start noticing stuff.
Oh yeah.
Just get on a turret and you'll notice.
I don't have time. I'm like running around everywhere, trying to figure out where the hell I am.
Yeah. But the way it came in, I thought was epic. Like you see these like orbs like coming in, and you're just like, wait, is that Mizu? And everyone's like, yeah, that's Mizu. You see Apex Mizu just coming in with his orbs and just creating chaos. I thought it was like a really cool way that it presented itself in the Rampage. But I just wish that like these were in individual hunts. I think we keep on saying, because I would love to just hunt the monster. But yeah, I'll probably place it, for me personally, C. But overall, I think it's a D, because they're all placing in D.
I think we ranked it as a D overall.
Yeah, definitely a D.
I think we're all in the same boat that we want the Apex monsters, but nobody wants to do Rampage at all.
Exactly.
Might be a move that they're going for. They want to build that up in the whole community, and we're all talking about it now too. So it's
It'd be just like Guided Lands. Everyone started out, I was like, oh, this is cool, and then we're like, okay, we hate this, and then we just stopped using it.
We used it as a per need basis. It's like, I need an attack up, like
as you needed
augment.
Layered armor. They just like, okay, we need a bigger reason. Layered armor, everything Guided Lands. It's just like, damn.
I could see them adding layers to the Rampage.
Oh no.
That would be
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
Don't give them ideas.
I cut this out of the video. Just kidding.
We'll edit it out.
That's it.
Alrighty. Arzuros is it's not Apex Arzuros, and it's out of the Rampage, so D. It's still Arzuros, but it's not in the thing. So
I think should we all just
D.
mutually agree D? Are we all just?
Yeah, I mean,
No!
he's pretty boring and plain. I don't hate Arzuros, to be honest.
I love the look
He's
of
just
him,
boring.
but it's,
I like
it's
bears.
you did it.
Bears are like
You
my
did it.
thing. Like I got
Yeah.
my wine bottles topper is a bear head.
Oh
Like,
shit!
I
There you
really
go.
like bears. Arzuros is just so boring.
We love you,
Brett?
Arzuros.
The Arzuros design is so much cooler than the Apex Arzuros design, even if it has the red helm moves. Fuck all of you for that. He is by far. He has so much character. He's such a cool bear. He eats his honey. He's like he has such a lovable aesthetic to him. I'm going with the B. I'm going with the B.
Damn.
very least.
He does drop sushi fish, which is the best healing item in the game.
he
so
drops
I gotta,
the sushi fish.
I gotta give him some love. I have to give him some
Are
love
you
for that.
changing
That
your
is.
answer, Moco?
Yo, you
I'll
got
go up
to.
one letter. C. I'll go to C. I'll
So we
be
got
the
one
intermediate here.
B, one C, two D's. I
I mean, it's gonna average out to a C rank anyway, which is fine. I do think he does have a lot of personality. That's fine.
Yeah,
Sure.
I want to say character. Like he has character. He has character. He's derpy in his own ways, but at the same time, his attacks could still womp you if you just stand there and let him hit you, kind of thing. Design wise, like Rat's saying, it does look fucking cool. They took a bear and they made it badass.
Guys,
Fun,
really
fun,
flipped around.
kinda
fun
see the
entry level
opposite.
fight. Fun entry level
Yeah.
fight. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just it's
the
a good
most
fight. Solid.
the most memed monster on Twitter.
Oh yeah, because he's like
Yeah, it's
the
like-
Beyblade.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I love him. I love him.
All right, C.
Looks like he
place
averages
in
out
C.
C. Yeah.
Yeah, average.
I'm disappointed in you guys. I'm disappointed. I feel slighted.
Me personally, I would place him in C. All right, so next up we got Great Baggy.
Baggy, that's my boy. But
That's
he is like, he's kind of forgettable here.
Yeah.
He like I think the first time I fought him, he never put me to sleep. Like Baggy used to fuck me up in the past. I guess I was like shittier at the game too, but like yeah, I like Baggy. He's like one of the better Raptors. But yeah, he doesn't like in a game where I've noticed where things that used to be weak are putting up a slightly better fight. He didn't get that like level up. He's kind of in the same. He's also like always really tiny. Every time I fight Great Baggy, which is like a handful of times, he's really small, and he used to be like a little taller. I don't know. It's like a random thing.
I think he was like the tallest out of all of them.
Yeah. He seems like
really?
very, very small.
He
but
seems shorter
he's
than
like
Kulu.
Yeah, he's like an average
Yeah.
Raptor. He's pretty cool. I'll put him in C for me.
Moco?
I kind of agree with Henry here, where like when you first fought him, it's kind of like a sense of I'm fresher at the game, so I'm not going to be as acquainted with mechanics. So he used to fuck me up, and that was a feeling. That's a memory you have of that monster. It's a starter monster. It kind of gets to you, and it's like doing its thing. You get the sleep mechanic in there, and you're like, oh man, when it puts me to sleep, I'm really scared because he could like hit me, and if I could get wombo comboed, or I could just get straight up KO'd if I don't have enough health. I'm curious to see what people in the that are watching the video right now that are experiencing this monster for the first time. If Rise is your first experience and you're just getting to meet Baggy, are you enjoying him? Are you getting put to sleep a lot? Are you not comfortable enough with the mechanics because you're still learning, which is okay? But like, are you experiencing some of the things that we experienced when we first fought it back in the day? So some of that might be the fact that, like you said, Henry, we're chilling here because we've been in the community for
fought
a
it
while. We're like,
before.
This is
Yeah.
my first time
Yeah.
playing this.
but
Was he
Oh, you haven't
in
played
terms of,
though.
like-
You haven't played through you. I forgot.
No. Was he in GU at
Oh,
all?
man.
No,
No.
No. Oh, okay.
he hasn't been in since 3.
Try in 3 Ultimate. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So,
Ben? Oh, sorry.
tier wise, I'll say C. I'll say C because it's just, he's there. He is a little forgettable. It is a little bit of a better fight, I agree. I think that's just a theme that Rise has brought up. It has elevated everyone slightly, some more than others. But it's just another one of those filler monsters that having all those little dudes in there. I posted up like a little thing on Twitter earlier where I'm like, yeah, all those extra minion guys, they're just there to like, as you're doing your chonky hits, to just suck up your sharpness. So like, oh, I'm gonna eat this, and this because there's 3 of us standing here on top of the monster you're going for. So, hey, I'm okay with him. He's not a bad dude. C.
Ben?
I'm going D tier. There's a lot of bird wyverns, and the Baggi and the
Yeah.
Wroggi and the Great Jaggy are literally all the same, except they spit a different
Wow.
element. I don't
Wow.
think they're all that great. Here's the thing.
What
The
the
other bird
fuck?
wyverns we have, like Kulu and Izuchi, are way different. Like, they're so much better. Izuchi spits too. It does way more attacks. I don't like the Baggi and Wroggi are literally the same monster with just a different ailment.
spit.
Spit. That's it. They're
so
boring.
upset.
They have super like high hit zones all the way around. They're really easy fights. They're just they could have done something to spice up the bird wyvern like Izuchi when we get to him. But I'm gonna D-tier in it.
I noticed a lot of people early game running baggy weapons because they put a lot of the early monsters to sleep really quick. Like if you were running someone with like an SNS on baggy and you had another greatsword user chilling out and shit like that, yo, you'd be doing a lot of shoot charge / wake ups, man.
Double Palamutes with Baggy weapons. Yeah.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Longsword gets paralysis on their baggy weapon.
Really?
Yeah. Paralysis
It's
Longsword.
not a Gendro.
Well, yeah. I know, it's weird.
Would you? I mean, is that considered good for longsword? Is that like,
Oh,
not good?
it's with Soccer Slash. I think it's pretty good. I don't know
okay.
the exact numbers for how ailments get applied with Soccer Slash, but I was paralyzing a lot when I was using it.
Okay. All right, that's good to know, actually.
I'm gonna say, first of all, I feel very slighted. Baggy's one of my favorite monsters. Though I will agree with Fem that I was honestly just gonna say like one line. I was just gonna be like, "Yo, B rank for Baggy," but like, that you did get me thinking that like they didn't change up enough about them. So I am still gonna go with B rank for Baggy because he's my boy. But I wish they did a little bit more for him. Probably could have put him up to A rank if they did a little bit to change up the fight more, in my opinion. But he's such a lovable design for me, and it was great to have him back, and it was very refreshing. So I'm gonna have to go B.
For me, experiencing it for the first time and everything, I guess C. It was pretty forgetful for me. Like after I hunted it, I mean, it was kind of cool with like the whole sleeping mechanic, but like after we went through the monster, we just went to the next one, and I don't know. I just didn't really hunt the monster much, but I assume like the people that want the sleep element want on their weapons. But
well, you got Somnacanth too, right?
Yes.
When do you get to fight him or her, whatever?
Put Somnacanth in low rank too.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, lower yes, fairly soon.
I will say, just like offhand, like I was very disappointed because like when it might have only been a G rank thing, but when you fight Baggy in 3 Ultimate, it's like a bullet. Like it doesn't stop moving, and it's like it runs in a circle around you and just like tires you out.
Yeah,
It's
he
crazy.
doesn't have any of those good movesets. Like he's so plain in this.
He's very plain.
So I definitely understand where you guys are coming from. Surprisingly.
Maybe in the expansion you might see some of that come back. Actually, that's a good point. We introduced them in low rank and things like that. High rank, nothing really changed. A possible G rank, master rank expansion might bring some of that back, which would
just
be
give
nice.
him his nitrous boost. That's all I want. Like,
Yo, for real.
are we putting on a C? What was it like a B?
I think that's C.
I think C was the most
Yeah, I
average
think
for
it's
sure.
a C tier.
Okay. Kulu. Herney.
Kulu is the goddamn same. He's
Yeah,
He's so lame.
the same.
you guys.
He's a
Kulu
raptor.
is so cool. Okay, I'll let you guys speak your piece on Kulu, and then I'll say one thing about Kulu.
Okay.
You want to go first, fam? I'll let you go first.
No, I'll let you guys do your hate
Okay.
speech on Kulu.
I think he's still he's still cool. He's still. I mean, I have like a meme video about him from like 20 and like 20 like from the trailer actually because I thought he was the funniest trailer monster. But he's kind of the same. He's still Kulu though. He's like he's definitely like such a wacky like raptor. Even in World, he like really stood out.
Yeah,
he's just so funny. I love that he just like holds up the rock and stuff. And he can like pack a punch too. Like the big slam he does, like will like
It
mess
fucking
you up.
hurts.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And if
yeah.
you've been hit like once before, it'll like stun you too. And if he's
That's
still
it.
aiming at you and like not your cat or something, he'll kill you.
Hashtag bring
but
back
he is-
Kulu Behemoth.
Yo, right?
Hashtag Kulu kill you.
Yeah.
He
I heard it.
he's still just a raptor though. It's gonna like I can't decide between B and C. Like in World, I would have put him in B because the same reason Aknosom, like very characteristic, very unique for a raptor, just like Aknosom is for a bird wyvern. But now I've seen him already, you know. So,
Right, he's a returning monster technically.
so I'm gonna have to go with C again. Sorry, Kulu.
Coco.
The fact that he's a returning monster, nothing really changed up the fight. Characteristic wise, bro, he's got some swagger. Bird up, this thing is like
Bird
straight
up,
up.
for sure.
It could pull out the pot. I always loved that mechanic. The pot was so easy to break, and when you broke it, he got kind of like a pseudo stun. Like all these weird mechanics, you're just like, oh, okay, I guess that happened. I like that. I think it's intuitive. So I'll keep him in C just because it's a very neutral, bland, like, if returning monster, if it was something like Aknosom that is the first time we're fighting it, I would put it in B, but because this is returning and nothing's really changed, but that homie bird up characteristic of it stayed, I'll put it in C. Very neutral for me.
Do I get to go before Fam?
Yeah, Rad, you go.
Dog shit.
Oh,
Damn. Easily. The stupidest monster to be in Monster Hunter World next to Jyuratodus. One of the worst designs, most boring designs. Friggin' potted plant holding ass. I set off a
This
car
guy got
alarm.
killed by Kulu a couple times. This guy did not like Crystal Kulu.
No, I fought Crystal Kulu like once, but like I actually couldn't even remember that fight. I'm sorry.
that's because you can only fight it once.
Yeah, there you go. All right, that's my piece.
Skoy.
Now you want me to go? I would say like D because I only hunted it once and like it's pretty much a direct copy from World. I only hunted it once.
I used Kulu's longsword playing through. I do remember that. I like the affinity on it. I
used it in Rise. It
Yeah.
was a good longsword.
I used it in Rise. It was good for that, actually.
So I'm going with B tier because I fucking love Kulu for two small reasons. One, if you're not engaging him in his fight, because he's not immediately an aggressive monster, but if you do anything near him or behind him, like you throw a sonic pod or throw a knife at him or whatever, he gets startled and drops whatever he's holding and freaks out. Fun as shit. And then I have a clip, I gotta find it, of Kulu attacking a Rathalos who had come by when we were fighting, and he took his rock and he had it in his hand and fucking hurled it at the Rathalos and dunked him out of the air with it.
Oh, shit.
What?
Okay, he got some points.
Yeah,
for
he
that.
KO'd
gives
the
you a
Rathalos
tier.
out of the air.
He's a
And
whole...
everyone just changed it.
And I was just
S-tier.
like,
Just
this
S-tier.
guy. I fucking love Kulu, but yeah, I understand he's just a raptor, but he has got so much personality behind him.
He's got swagger. He does.
Where are you get? He's a dork. He's literally a dork. He like fumbles his stuff
so
and
do you hate
falls over,
Judugama?
and
Because
then
if
you
hate
beat him. It's like
you could just get out of the
you're literally
call right
bullying
now.
a kid, your child. Like it's awful. Swagger.
He's got autism. Leave him alone.
Oh man.
I like that our most discourse is on Kulu-Ya-Ku.
Yeah, right?
That's great.
I think Rad's like the high school bully in this situation.
No, I got bullied for sure. I'm just saying.
Should we mutually
Well,
agree on C then?
we got it, yeah.
You
is
can
that-
put him in C tier. I really like Kulu.
That
So
the
it was like
statement has
two-
been made.
It's like 2 C's, 1 D, and 1 dog shit, I think, right? Or no, it's
Yeah.
like 2 C's. Well, what?
I put him in B tier.
Yeah.
I think there's 3 C's, so you can give him C. Yeah.
C-D.
Wroggi.
W for
man.
Wroggi.
W for Wroggi? Was
Wroggi has a sick roar, man. He has like a metal pig squeal, and I love it.
I do like his roar.
Yeah, his
is a
roar is
pig.
awesome. I don't really have much to say about this guy. I fought him like one time. Obviously, I've like
Dude.
I mean his armor. He's got that drip.
He's got the cowboy armor.
Yeah,
Dude. He's
cowboy
got
armor.
sick armor.
Everyone-
That's what
yeah.
that was.
Just for
Dude,
that, I'm gonna put him in B.
I for me, he's one of the most unappealing monsters. I'll get to that.
This dude doesn't bring antidotes to a hunt.
That's funny.
Moko?
The armor's drip as hell. Don't get me wrong, but dude, so many of these monsters would be put in C, but for this one in particular, I didn't use anything from it. It's just there for me personally. D.
Damn. D for damn.
Yeah.
Fam?
D for damn, bro. Damn shame.
I'm a solid B tier. His armor is good.
Wow.
It's good gunner armor. It looks good. It's statistically not terrible for what we have right now. And as much as I hate these bird wyverns, because all it does is it's the same thing as Baggi, but with poison spit. It's got a dope roar, and its gear is great. So
Yeah, the roar gets a lot of points, clearly.
The roar and the armor.
Rad?
I'll give it A tier.
Wow.
Yeah, one of my favorite monsters in 3 Ultimate specifically. I know we're talking about Rise, but just even though they completely ruined his armor set, like visually it still looks the same, but it was such a good longsword set. in 3 Ultimate, and the skills now aren't really good for that. Like they would give us, I think they give us like Razor Sharp and the Poison Resistance or something like that. It was really good for like high rank. But I love his design, and he's a cool poison monster, and I love popping his little bubble neck thing.
You can pop that?
Well, you can break it, but
Oh, okay.
it gets all these scars on it. It's sick. I love them.
Oh, man.
Love them.
I'll place him in D tier.
I think he's averaging out to a C like the other birds.
I think so.
No.
It's
believe you
just
guys.
he's just very unappealing to me. I don't know. I haven't even hunted it. I don't even think. I come across
What?
it on other hunts. I just
think
see
you're
it. I'm just
required
like, I
to
don't even
hunt it
want
at
to
least
touch
once.
that
He's just
thing.
You
there.
have to hunt it at least once in order to have an opinion here. Like, I can't believe this.
I do, and I come across like the other
Looks like
monsters.
he
I
doesn't
see
get
it.
that D.
I punch it a little bit. He poisons me. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I just go on to the next monster.
All right, C tier, I guess.
C tier.
I
Was
think
it
that's
two
what he
Bs?
averages out to.
That's like
One
where it
A.
averages out like everyone.
We had a
He
B
got
and an
an
A,
A.
and then like 2 C's and a D.
Let's say
So
the
B.
A and the D cancel out. I think it comes down to 2 Bs versus the 1 C, because the A and the D
Oh, then
cancel
it's
out.
definitely.
Oh,
two,
he got
it's
Bs?
definitely B tier then.
It was
Okay,
gonna be
okay.
B2 then.
I'll take that,
Which, you
I'll
know
take
what?
that.
Armor wise and everything, I'll do it.
B
And
tier.
roar.
Oh,
B
he's
tier,
got
B tier.
he's got revolver dual blades. Yeah, definitely. B.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know. It's so
gotta
sick.
say, I'm just-
It's cool. Okay, I'll give it. I'll give it.
they brought back the
my
gun
D got
hammer.
canceled out by the A out there, but that's pretty badass.
Dude, I'm so hyped for Kushala if they bring back the gun heavy bowgun.
Oh, that'd be
Like
sick.
the revolver.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
Need it.
Layered weapons, please. Layered armor weapons. We need that, please.
Oh,
my
don't
God.
worry, we'll get drip fed that throughout the entire existence of Rise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I hope we
Okay,
get layered
Lagomba.
soon.
Lagoons.
Lagombi. I love
That's
this.
another
Lagombi,
Legumes.
dog shit tier.
No.
He's
what?
a-
We talk about
He's
how
a-
it's introduced as like the bloodlust, like leaving nothing but blood in its path kind of thing.
Oh
from
yeah,
the
this is
intro.
another ghost story, which is like, what is
Yeah,
this
really?
Lagombi, man? Yeah.
For this little rabbit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Hardy, go for it.
It's another one that's like very samey. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel very different from GU, which is kind of random, like kind of funny. But I never really hated Lagombi. Lagombi is kind of just a monster that I kind of like.
Not even Snow Baron?
it
You didn't
get-
hit Snow Baron?
I don't like Snow Baron, but Lagombi is kind of okay. It gets points just for being 3rd gen. But nothing too special. I'm gonna just go ahead and put this one in C.
Okay.
Very just there again, going with the theme. I think we're going to see a lot of it moving forward in the list until we get to some of like the meteor monsters that we see more of that we fight. But the fact that it's just hanging out, doing its thing, it's Lagombi. Nothing really changed from where it started off. It's cool to see him come back, in my opinion. He drifts a lot. I dig it. C, just because like it's not doing anything for me, but he's not doing anything to be considered quote unquote not deserving of like that neutral ground. I'm good with the neutral. C.
I am putting it in dog shit tier. I hate Lagombi. I've always hated Lagombi. I fucking hate that rabbit.
What did he do to you? What did he do?
Well, Snow Baron exists,
Oh,
but
yeah.
also just high rank Lagombi just dashes so far. Actually, maybe it's G rank Lagombi. Just randomly dashes because he could dash like up to 1, 2, or 3 times. He just kind of alternates, kind
That's
of
G
whatever.
rank, yeah.
Yeah, it's so fucking annoying to fight. I hate Lagombi. And as a gunner, the only good hit spot is his little tiny head, which
Yeah.
is
Oh,
obviously
man.
up and around most of the time. And he's just always, up and down and up and down. And I just really fucking hate Lagombi. So he's historically dog shit tier for me.
Red.
B tier. He's cute.
Beat Bunny.
He does the belly drift. I like that a lot.
A
Also,
tier.
The drift,
I
the
didn't-
drift is dope.
I didn't fight him in GU too much, so I've been playing 3U a lot, so I didn't know that he can do that thing where he jumps in the air and then like lands on his ass and then roly-polies all
Rolls.
over the place.
Yeah.
Adorable. B tier.
For me, I would place him in A tier because just like I love bringing new people into the
cool.
hunt, and just like he does that one move where he like throws a snowball at you and then he charges through the snowball, and I'm just
yeah.
like,
Sick.
yeah.
That's so sick.
it scared the
Dude,
shit
his
out
giant
of
snowball is so fucking fast in Rise.
Yeah.
You seen
yeah.
it build? Like
Yeah.
he throws it and it just constantly goes up. I saw it go up a wall once and like glitched out, but it got huge because it didn't blow up
It
yet.
keeps
like,
growing,
It was
yeah.
actually hilarious.
Great.
Literally
monster.
snowballs.
Great
That's
monster.
crazy.
I'm changing it
So-
to A. I'm going A tier. Love him.
A tier. So we got 2 A's. We got a
2 C's
C.
and a
2
dog
C's
shit.
And dog shit.
I think that's still probably around a BC average.
B.
Let's give him B. Let's give him B.
Let's give it a B. Yeah.
He deserves
We're gonna
it.
look at this tier list
He
and be like, what the
deserves
fuck?
I love like I dragged one of my friends that's never fought him before into the hunt, and he did that move, and I was like, yes! And he was like, what was that? I'm like, that was what I wanted. All right, next up, what was this?
Volvidon.
Oh,
Volvidon.
Volvidon. I'm gonna give Volvidon B because of his intro is hilarious,
Yeah.
and I just find Volvidon like really funny. I don't know why. It's probably like the same way like Rad feels about Lagombi. I like Volvidon for no reason. I just think he's really funny. He just makes me laugh. Like I look at him and he just makes me laugh.
just a
His
meme
fight
in
is
your
like
eyes.
not great. I'm gonna just say that. Like even though I'm giving him B, his fight
fight's
kind of
ass.
sucks. It's
Yeah.
pretty
His
That is
ass.
ass.
But he just gets points for being here. I'm like, I give him the little trophy for like just trying. He made it to
You
rise.
tried gold sticker.
You tried.
Yeah, he made it to rise, and that's a win for him. So I'm gonna give him.
Yo, for real.
Put him in B.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Moko?
I'll have to say I kind of agree with Henry on this. Like, I'll put him in B too actually because he's like all the monsters. I always categorize them by like their taunt phase where like they do something. You got Arzuros that does like that like I'm here. Well, so does Volvidon, and it kind of like he incorporates his own thing. I like his movement. I actually like bowing against him a lot because like he forces me to either use the dodge bolt or just a regular dodge from the bow to avoid getting paralyzed by his tongue. I think it's funny as hell just seeing myself standing there in the corner and off shooting like a hunter's just chilling, fighting him, and just a tongue comes out, whop, and then this dude just drops. Like, I think it's just a funny thing to see because I'm like, oh, don't worry, I'll heal you up, but you're still laying down there. Like, don't stand in front of him too much. And I think that's a nice little lesson to like learn. Like, certain monsters have certain hit zones and hitboxes and attacks that you gotta pay attention to. Like, people who are experienced against Volvidon, they never stand right in front of him unless they're comfortable like dodging through or dealing with it. But it's all about positioning. I think Volvidon does a cool little bit about positioning with it. So I like him for that. So B.
A super quick interjection. Like this week alone, I've seen him like stun lock people on Twitter.
Yeah,
Like
so
just
funny.
he's killed like three streamers like via like para into KO into para. I just find that so funny. And that's it.
He like jab locks them. It's hilarious.
The OTKO.
Yeah.
Really.
I'm gonna give him C tier because he doesn't have stench and rise.
Yeah,
What do you mean doesn't
Wait.
understand? He
does.
Yeah.
He doesn't
does.
give you stench status though.
Yeah,
He
he
does.
can-
I can't
Yeah.
heal if I get hit with it. He does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
He does? I've
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
seen him use stench stuff.
Yeah.
does.
No,
Well, you're
100%.
using
He's
LBG.
one of-
He does fart, I think, actually.
Yeah, he does fart, and I get hit by it, and I'm like, well, I don't carry around stuff with me, so good luck, everybody.
I don't remember that. Okay, well
I
then B
thought you
tier
were an
is.
expert. I thought you were an expert, fam. What's going
I don't
on?
get hit, and I don't want the
Too fast
monsters
to
really
I
to
don't
do
get
stuff,
hit, you're-
so I don't get to see it.
That's funny.
So B tier instead.
Yeah, I'll go B. I didn't think he
Hey,
had
let's
stench. I
go.
thought they got rid of that because I'd never seen him
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
But
I
I
get
don't
hit by it a
hate
lot.
Volvidon. I think he's a better, like one of the better of the bipedal like beasts, kind of like Lagombi,
Yeah.
Arzuros, Volvidon. So I
So
do
is it?
like him.
Yeah, he's the
I
best.
do like
B.
him better than that.
Yeah, I'm going B for my tier.
Okay. Rad?
C tier. I like his design, but I hate his fight. And like, I'm pretty sure Arzuros and Lagombis have weak zones on their butts, which is useful for like positioning.
he
But
doesn't.
Volvidon does not. So like, I'm very
He
used
does
to when,
not.
yeah, I find them to be like a very like they're the same monster basically, like archetype wise. And then
Yeah.
he's like the only one that's slightly different in that regard, so it throws me off, and I hate that because I don't like change. So C tier.
Okay.
Ow.
Dig that.
Oh man, I probably had to place him in C tier myself. I his armor looks sick, but like the hunt wise itself, like I play hunting horn and like you have to be like in there for the fight, so it's just like the farts get annoying and I don't know. I love the way he rolls around. Aesthetically, he looks pretty cool, and he's a pretty goofy looking monster too. So I would say C.
So
Looks like we got 3 B's and 2
3
C's.
All
Oh, we're
right.
going
I
B
think
tier.
so.
Like B.
Damn.
B tier. B for Volvidon. I'll take it.
B for Volvidon.
Royal Ludroth. Ludroth.
Ludroth.
Ludroth.
Oh, shit,
Ludroth?
bro.
Like Lufa.
I fought this guy one time. But it's Royal Ludroth. Oh, he does look extra spongy in this game.
Yes.
So, and I really like that. So just for the sponginess, He's not B tier worthy. I'm gonna give him a C. He's a nice looking sponge, that guy.
Yeah. Moko?
Very spongy looking dude.
I fought him a bunch of times. Another monster that I actually kind of really like and dig with like the whole Pierce bow thing that I've been on. But I think aesthetically he was one of the monsters where I can see like, whoa, they updated. Like you put those two models next to each other, bro. You're gonna be like, all right, they've been working on it. They've been really trying to like update things and certain. The RE engine's doing what it has to do, and given the, I guess the infrastructure that is the Switch and what it can do, he's one of the ones that really showcase that. So I dig it. Good job. Welcome to Rise or Ludroth, but C tier. You're chilling. You're not inherently bad, but you're not doing anything crazy other than looking like a hella good sponge. So good.
Fem?
I'm have to give him a B tier, to be honest. They think they did update him really well from Gen and GU where he was last. He's got some new attacks which are pretty cool. He's got some really big body slams. So I'm actually a pretty good fan of Ludroth. I know he's not the hardest monster around, and we don't hunt him all that much.
But he was
but I
changed for
still
sure.
like Ludroth, so I'm gonna go B tier.
Nice. Oh, just in time, too. Holy shit.
Good timing, bro.
Got a drink, too.
G tier.
Good timing.
GT. You're next.
Ludroth. I like him so much more in 3U. I'm gonna say D tier. I don't know why he feels weird in this one to me in comparison to 3U. I found his fight much more enjoyable in that game.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. And I also found I couldn't cut his tail as easily in this one for some reason. And I'm like a longsword main, so like that's really insulting. I don't know what's going on there. Very upset.
I would personally put him in B tier because I during the hunt and everything, there was a part where like we broke off all the sponge off it. He was looking pale, and then he started walking off, and you kind of followed him a little bit. I kind of let him do his thing. He went up to a waterfall, and he soaked up the water, and like his sponge came back, and his color came back too. And I thought that was like the sickest
Wait, he
thing.
does
That's
that?
actually pretty
Yeah.
sick. Yeah.
That's cool.
If
I've
you let
never
him
heard
live
that.
long enough and he's
that
like
new?
hurting,
I
he'll
don't
go.
know.
Yeah,
It's gotta be.
I don't remember seeing that. Yeah, he
Yeah.
does this thing where he gets pale, like Skoy said. If you let him do his thing and like vibe out, he'll run away, go under the waterfall in the flooded forest, and he'll go
Yeah.
under it and like shake his head, and he just engorges right back up to normal and stuff. It looks pretty sick, actually. That was a cool mechanic to see.
That's cool.
Definitely. So
That's cool.
I feel like there was like so much character behind that, and
He has a lot of
that
character
monster
behind his fight.
that I would personally, because of that, probably put him in B.
They showed him love in Rise. Yeah.
So we got, what was it, 2 C's, 2 B's?
I gave a C.
Yeah, 2 C's, 2 B's, and a dog shit. No, it was a D?
No, D.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think that's gonna bring it down to a C tier. At
Probably.
Best.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, but fight, I definitely agree though the fight was pretty average.
I just think it's better than his other ones. I like his new body slams.
His new what?
Yeah. Body
He's got new
slams.
body slams.
Oh. I didn't notice.
Alright,
I'll go fight him again after this. I'll take a look.
Yeah. We're just all just be like, oh yeah.
Just in the comments, I changed my mind.
I changed my mind, guys. Don't worry. Don't
This
roast
is my actual
Red
tier
comments
list. Put the
bottom,
tier list in the comments. Alright, next up we got Barroth.
Barroth. I think Barroth's pretty cool. Barroth is a monster that I think is a pretty good like newbie trainer. Like
Yes.
he's got like some nice telegraphed moves. He's got like
He hits hard.
he hits hard for sure. I think he also killed me in the hub at least. Yeah, he feels. I can't tell what he feels more like, whether it's his GU form or world. But Barroth is Barroth. He's not like interesting enough to give him B, but yeah, I think he's just like a solid C tier. He's pretty good. Yeah,
See,
don't have much to say.
Moko?
I kind of agree with Henry on there. He's really good at showing new hunters, like, hey, you hear that whistle? Like, we're not just telegraphing it to you, but we're giving it a sound. Get out. Like, move. Like, start paying attention to the monsters. Things are going to happen. I like that. Again, monsters that do that in the game always have a special place in my heart because it's what I kind of help out the newer members in the community. Like, hey, I'm trying this monster hunter for the first time. What monsters should I, like, practice around with? Like, I'll always throw them the Barroths and things like that. I'm like, this is going to teach you some stuff. You're going to learn it on your own. You may not be able to verbalize it, but incoherently, like from a fighting standpoint, it'll just whistle, oh, it's gonna charge at me. If I'm standing in front of it, that's gonna hurt. He does good damage, makes you think a little bit. Once you get used to him, me and Pekko had to hunt them a lot to break the crown. That's something that we noticed, actually. That's the first monster that, in Rise specifically, I had to break the crown with Pekko. Pekko was using Lance, and I was like using Hammer. I was going crazy with it. It didn't want to break for the life of me. So I kind of share
really
that
hard.
sentiment where Rad was saying with the Ludroth's tail. I think that's, for me, that was the Barroth crest. It was pretty tough to break. Other than that, solid monster. It's fun when you're learning. When you learn it, it's just there. C.
I'm gonna have to give him a B tier. I really like Barroth. He sounds like a big angry choo-choo train, and he hits really fucking hard. And also, you can bait him into hitting walls with his head to automatically get a free KO, which is really fun.
The mechanic is still there.
I think he's a really good low tier monster. You can't take him lightly because he will fuck you up. And of all the mud monsters, he's the best mud monster. So I like Barroth a lot.
I think visually he was a lot better in 3U and probably GU. I don't remember in GU. I felt really slighted in World because I felt like they took all of the color out of him, and I was hoping that they were going to change that in Rise, and then they didn't. So that's like a big factor for me. But it's still a fun fight, and I liked it a lot. And I like Barroth a lot. He's one of my favorite monsters. I'm a big Gen 3 player, obviously, so I'm gonna go ahead and give him B tier.
I would probably give him C for me. Like, I started it in World, but then I went to GU. I had way more fun fighting him in GU than I did in World. Because, like, I guess, like you said, Red, the color of him and just the way he fights, I think is really cool in Generations. Yeah, I'll probably place him in C. Like you guys said, he's a good starting monster as well. And
so that's 3 C's and 2 B's. Sorry, Rad, we lose this one too.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. He's a mid monster in my opinion, so it works out. That's fine.
Yeah.
Khezu. He's a good monster though.
Khezu, let's just drop him in S tier right now.
Easily.
He's S tier.
Mr. Circumsaurus over here.
Easy.
all right, next
No
monster we got Pukei.
Yeah, so we got Pukei.
Don't even need to discuss it.
All right, Hurdy, what's up?
No, yeah, I mean Khezu already has like such a meme status anyway. He's
Lowering
definitely one
Khezu.
of the spookier goons in the game. His ghost story was very fitting. Like his little intro, like the story actually made sense with him because he is actually spooky. And now he has this gatekeeping reputation, which I think is
so
really
good.
funny.
It's so
Like just that it's Khezu of all things. Like, I don't know. I was
Well,
really
I've always
late.
liked Khezu too. Like, he's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
been really.
I was so surprised to see that on Twitter. I was just like,
I was really
people
late to
couldn't-
that. I was like, what's happening?
I saw like everyone was just talking about low rate Khezu, and then like TDS started talking about it. I was just like, what is happening? What? but
so funny.
Yeah, he's got the meme status. I think he's actually pretty cool. Khezu has a lot of, like, we're not talking about gear anymore, but he's always had really cool looking weapons. They're like
Oh my
really
gosh.
unique, like syringes and like weird, like doctory looking
It's
shit.
like flesh melded
Swiss
weapons.
Army
are
knife.
super
yeah,
weird.
yeah. I've always really liked them.
the hunting horse is screamed.
Yeah, yeah. He's
got the
deserves
best
reputation
soundtrack.
for sure. That too.
That soundtrack though.
I unironically will
soundtrack.
put him in S tier.
Moko?
I will. He has a very special place in my heart actually because I started out with the first Monster Hunter in PS2, and Khezu was a part of that. And
was he?
Khezu was that monster that, like, when I first saw him as a kid, bro, I was like, what is this game I'm playing? And the no music, I couldn't tell that I was, like, in the area kind of thing. And then, like, when I pan the camera, I'm like, oh my god, where are his eyes? Like, all these emotions growing up. So that was awesome to see. To see him hit like a truck in the first Monster Hunter when you first encounter him, and then see him in Rise kind of take that status, I loved it. I love Khezu in general, just because he's like, you know, first Monster Hunter game baby, kind of like, oh my god, you're back. And then when I played Monster Hunter Stories, Red Khezu was like my golden child. He like carried me through most of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I will put him in S tier just because of like what he stands for, and he means that much to me. So S tier on my end.
Them?
Garbage game.
Garbage.
If you like this game,
he's
you like
S
bad
tier.
games.
He's S tier super hard. I always love Khezu. Everyone like prefers Giganox over Khezu. I'm not seeing it. I mean, I
Because
get.
we haven't had him. We haven't had him
I
again
know,
in so
but
long.
still, I mean, Khezu is such a fucking good monster. He's a scary monster. He looks weird. All his equipment's super cool. His fight is different. I
His
just
jank
fucking
hit.
love Khezu.
His hit where like he like walks to you slowly, and then just jumps at you with electricity. I love that. I love that.
He's a good fight. I love Khezu. I'm definitely S-tiering Khezu.
Yeah, man.
Red?
I'm S-tiering him for the memes mostly. I do like his fight though. He also like put a very successful April Fool video into my lap, so I'm definitely gonna give him S tier for that.
Yeah.
Praise
Dude,
Khezu.
The
Bless.
amount
Good
of
job for
like
that, yeah.
comments on that video that were like taking it way too seriously, and I'm just like, oh, really?
It's so funny. It's so funny.
I would place it in S tier as well because like he actually teaches you as well. Like you can't just go into the like up next to him and just keep on hitting him. You have to
Oh my
step
God,
away from
yes.
him.
You can
He's
if
a
you're
good learning
Longsword.
fight.
Well, I like that they gave him
You can
2
disrespect
breath
him, you
attacks
can.
now. He can chain his breath now. That threw me off the first time I fought him. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, he threw one. I run in. Then he does a second. I'm like, ah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So-
That was for us. That was for people like us, fam. And we're like, oh god, this is so different.
The way he
It hit
goes
us,
up
like,
into
3
the
times, and we're
ceiling
like,
as
okay.
well. Yeah.
I like that you can knock
Oh,
someone off
yes.
the ceiling. Yes, yes.
What?
He's just a great monster, dude.
Wait,
Yeah.
what just happened?
Knocking him out of the
something, I
ceiling
missed
just
it.
feels so satisfying. It's so satisfying.
Like he
Okay.
goes up to the ceiling as well. Like when you kind of just like randomly just go whoop and then just do some attacks and just it's crazy. All right, Pukei. Ernie.
I really like Pukei after the Witcher collab
Pukei
quest.
buddy.
He gained a lot of points there. And I hope he's a companion that you can get in stories too, because that's the boy right there.
Oh, you can. They've already shown screenshots of him.
Oh hell yeah!
he is.
So
He is in-
he's pretty cool here. He doesn't put up like a bigger fight like a lot of the returning guy. He's kind of the same, but he gets a lot of like buddy points. So I'm gonna give him a B.
B for buddy.
B for
for
buddy.
buddy.
Yeah.
Buddy.
It's a B for buddy right there for sure.
That's funny.
Moko.
I'd have to say B for Buddy too, just because of the fact that like it's Pukei. Like it's a returning monster from World. Nothing. I think he might have been one of the least changed actually coming back into Rise, which is
Did he have
okay.
that? Did he have that tail move before? The like the big spray that he does, where he like it gets
Yes.
super loud.
That was a G rank move before, but yeah, he did have
Yeah.
it.
I like the fact that I like the little interaction that when you cut his tail, he could still in Rise, he could still kind of like try to do some of that beam, like he's trying to do things. So that's a little bit of a change, but I do enjoy the fight. Not different from World, but it wasn't really horrible to begin with. So, yo, B for the boy.
All right, Fam.
I'm gonna give him solid B tier. I don't think he's very difficult. I mean, he's just a pretty basic flying wyvern. But for poison monsters goes, he's really cool. I do like how he like goes after vegetation on the map to eat, and then glow all red. Then he's got more aggressive attacks. I do
really?
like Pukei in general.
Yeah.
But he's pretty basic. Just a bit better than the other C tier monsters there. So I'm definitely going B tier for Pukei.
Red.
I'm gonna hurt your guys' feelings. I'm gonna have to go with D tier.
Man, you really don't like Pukei, huh?
D
I
for
don't like
Dan.
world. I don't like world monsters, to be honest. That's
That's
like,
fair. World
that's a-
monsters are pretty plain.
That's my big controversy, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't know. If anything, Pukei is like one of the less egregious designs for me, so it does have that. Where did we put Kulu?
Kulu was
He
in
made it
C.
to C.
I'll
made it to C.
give him. You guys all said B, eh?
Yeah,
I'll give
we
him
all said
I'll
B.
give him C, only because he's not an awful fight and he is unique. My opinion's like slightly changed because of what Fem said about how like he has like these unique mechanics where he can eat the stuff and like do stuff with it. I thought that was pretty cool, so
Yeah.
I'll give him C. But yeah, I just a lot of those designs never really like hit me. So
Fair.
I'll place him in B, mostly because like I agree with what things you guys have said, and it's one of the monsters where it's just like this guy does poison. Be careful. And I love his variant? His Coral Pukei? Is that a variant?
Dude, Carl Pukei is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hate
Coral
I
was
like
sick.
Throw Pukei sick.
Really?
I hate Pukei-Pukei. Why am I gonna like the other Pukei?
Because he's basically just a fire truck.
People got really
Yeah.
mad at me actually because I said I didn't like him. I don't know. Because I think I said the fight was very samey. It felt very samey to me, but apparently he has a lot of differing mechanics as the Coral version. So I have to go back and revisit it.
Yeah,
We don't have to. We don't need to go back to
And
that.
you don't
so
have
worry
to.
about it.
I was like, oh,
You're good, bro.
Don't do that to yourself.
Very fair.
Alright, so B, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a 4.
makes it to
B's and a
B.
C.
B
Sounds
for
good.
Buddy.
Oh, I'm ready for this one.
Buddy.
Yay.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, cool.
Jyuratodus.
Dude, this fucking guy,
Fucking
man.
Jyuratodus.
Dude, why did they like make him a monster? He's got moves now. He's got an actual roar.
What was it called?
Stun.
Did he used to
Urgent.
get up
He's
on
an
his
urgent.
feet? Did he used to do that?
Say again?
Yeah, rarely he did.
Oh,
Get
damn.
on his feet.
Dude,
Yeah.
I was. Well, now, can I just say this real quick? Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
When they were bringing on like urgent monsters, I was like, okay, probably gonna get like the spider monster for an urgent next. After finding all these, I was on stream and I was just like, I saw this Jyuratodus. I was like, are you serious?
Yeah.
That was
This is the
insulting.
urgent?
That was insulting
Yeah.
that they did that.
When they got the HR4 urgent for Jyuratodus, I read the quest description like, oh, our Jyuratodus has gone missing. Go find him. I'm like, okay, so it's not really Jyuratodus. We're gonna fight like fucking Magnamalo or something else, and then end up just being Jyuratodus. I'm like,
Yeah.
fucking really?
Do you have a fire alarm going on here? You okay?
That means someone followed. I don't know what the hell.
Okay, I know
we
the
lost
different
Ernie.
colors meant something.
I
About
guess
the chicken.
Oh, he got his chicken.
The chicken taco.
All right. We'll speed this up. We'll speed this up.
all right.
Yeah, we'll just drop this into dog shit tier.
dog shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
I agree. Dog shit tier.
Ernie?
For Jyuratodus, dog shit. I was gonna give him D. Are we going with dog shit?
I'm
Yeah, I'm
going
going
dog
dog
shit.
shit
tier.
I would call it dog
Put him
water,
there.
if anything. but
Put him
like,
in there.
yeah.
Put him in there.
Dog shit
Coffee.
tier because like it
He's
call
a
me
worse
crazy.
fight than he was in World.
I
Yeah,
miss
yeah, he's-
Green. I miss
yeah.
Plesioth. I'll be the first one to say it. I miss Plesioth.
I miss
They
Plesioth, too.
tried to kind of bring a little bit of Plesioth out in Jyuratodus, and I was like, no, it's not him. He has moves as he has a weird like Plesioth hip check underwater now, and the roar. I was like, okay, dog shit because
He's got a roar now. Like fucking
He's got an
why?
actual roar, yeah.
Did they?
He's got gills. He doesn't have lungs. Why can he roar?
Garbage monster.
Did they give him
Garbage
like a?
monster.
Did they give him a horror intro like they did in World? They did in World. They
Yeah, they
introduced him
did.
as like a
Yeah,
terrifying
yeah.
monster.
He fucking
yeah, yeah.
drowns a Slagtoth.
Oh
I was like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
Oh
yeah,
my god.
he pulls it down.
Why?
Slagtoth
I'm really
was my
just-
boy
I'm
early game
annoyed.
for healer build, so I had to take down Jyuratodus with extreme prejudice just because of that intro.
I'm annoyed that Jyuratodus exists as the only like fish monster because we could have had another water monster like Zamtriosin instead. But
Yeah.
but
If
gave
they
us the
put in
fucking fish.
if they put in Zamtrios, I'd have more respect for Almudron or whatever because
Yeah.
then we wouldn't have 3 mud monsters.
Yeah.
yeah.
Next up, we have Basarios. Is that how you
Yo.
pronounce it?
A tier, man.
A
Yo,
tier.
What?
Yo,
How?
They gave Basarios such a glow up. I always liked this monster. I don't
He's
know
a
why.
lot better.
Yeah, I
He
always
did. He
liked him.
did get improved. I agree on
Yeah.
that.
He's got some cool new moves. He has got a cool mechanic that it's kind of like Ignactor. Like if he uses that body
yes,
part to attack, it
I was
heats
gonna
up.
mention that.
So if he does like the beam or the fireballs, his face heats up, becomes a good hitbox.
Well,
and then when he does like
he's
the body
got,
fart,
Kamlos' swim too.
yeah, he's got the Akano
Yes.
swim, which is pretty cool. He looks like really nice in this game. Like he looks like really polished. I mean, he's like a baby Gravios, so it looks just like really like the rock. I don't know, the rocks look good. Yeah, I've just kind of always liked this guy, so there's definitely some bias here. But yeah, they gave him a glow up. I saw him in the trailer and I was like, okay, he looks like he's gonna be good. And then I fought him and I was like, cool, he's pretty good. I've had to do him for a couple of things. I don't dislike him, but the bias I have will help put him in A.
Okay.
He's a cute rock boy.
Okay. He's a cute rock boy.
For me, it's another one of those things where like I fought him back in the first Monster Hunter, and it's little near and dear to my heart. And now this ties into what Henry said. Coming from that fight in the first Monster Hunter and other iterations moving forward, this is my favorite version of him, hands down. They definitely gave him the glow up in this game. It seems like they took like a sea of monsters and they said, yo, we're gonna give this dude some interesting mechanics, maybe borrowing from a couple of other monsters like was said earlier, but we're gonna make him actually fun to fight. He was actually one of the last monsters that I killed after I beat Narwa and everything already, because he was like super optional. Like, you didn't have to fight him to beat the story and everything. I really only got to him once I started doing all my optional quests in the whole game, and I ended up loving his fight because that whole idea of like it heats up when he does an attack. God forbid he does against like someone again who's doing like a Pierce-esque weapon, that full body heat up, forget about it. His whole body just lights up and it's just great. And he stun him real good. He just feels like a good fight. I love him. I would actually say A tier because he's a gem. You can miss him easily. So if you're watching this and you haven't fought him yet and taken the time to learn those mechanics, do it because it actually is very intuitive. I like it. A tier.
Boom.
I don't want to give him A tier because I always hated Basarios and like and For You and stuff. But I'll give him A tier because he is so much fucking better in Rise. He's a really good fight, and he's got like kind of the what was that fucking one? The Nibble Surf mechanic where like he goes and burrows underground. You can plant bombs and he'll run over the bombs and bring himself back up if you do damage with bombs. He's got a lot of cool mechanics going on with him, and visually he looks way better now. So
solidly improved.
Yeah, he's a really improved fight. So I'll give him the A. That's fine.
Brad?
I'd give him B tier because like I would have given him dog water or dog shit in any other game. But like everybody's already said it, he's improved so much. But like I found him to be such a bad fight beforehand that now it's like okay, he is now
soiled it.
He is now above average to me. But yeah, we know it's the long sword talking for that one for sure. That is an awful fight for longsword, man.
Oh,
it's so bad.
man. I'll give him A. I thought he wasn't too bad in GU when I fought him, and I thought of him always as like intimidating too. I thought it was pretty cool. Like he would just like if you do a lot of damage to him, he's like, nah, get away from me with a fire attack sometimes. Is he doing sleep now too?
Yeah, he does sleep gas.
He does
too.
sleep. It's like it's like really small, but he does do it.
Yeah. Did he always do sleep?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
okay.
was sleep,
He was Aragon before Aragon.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he got sleep gas, poison gas, and fire gas, and beams.
So-
Like he's got a lot going on with him.
whenever I see like someone post a hunt, I'm always like, yeah, let's go, let's fight him. So I'll place him in A.
Cool.
Word up.
Okay, so I
First
guess
A
it's
tier.
4 A's and a
Word
B. So might as
Basarios.
well give him an A.
You guys are all
so
recording
let's dive into Rathian.
Rathian. Ernie?
Shit, man, Rathian's Rathian.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good like teacher fight. It's like Rathian is always gonna feel pretty similar in like whatever game she's in. Funny thing about Rathian, I used to think that like her triple run move was just like a placeholder because back then they couldn't think of like a lot of different moves. But I think it's really funny that as the games have progressed, she just has it still in HD. Like she
Always.
still runs 3 times in a row.
HD triple run.
Yeah, it's just still there. It's like on purpose. But yeah, Rathian's Rathian. I'm gonna give her a C.
Okay.
Rathian is
Brought me to
Rathian.
tears.
I would definitely. It's a teacher fight. It's for sure. I think it can really mollywop you if you're not paying attention. That triple run does catch a lot of people off guard, and I do find it funny as well when you see it happen, especially if like I'm keeping you alive and just watching just go back and forth. I was like, oh damn. It's like wire bug out. I'll say I feel like B, but I will give it the C because nothing has really changed. Nothing's really changed with Rathian, and as we go on to later monsters, there was potential for a lot of change. So I'll stay with C with Rathian.
She's almost like more.
I'm gonna go with C as well. She's really basic. She hasn't changed at all in most games.
Yeah.
So I feel like this would have been a really good opportunity to give her some new attacks, but she literally got nothing. So the same as she's always ever been. So yeah, she's basic. She's just C Rathian. I'd rather fight her over a Almudron. So yeah.
Good.
Yeah, Rathian's Rathian.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like it's C for me
Yeah.
for
Maple.
just average
But
hunt.
I will say it is very rewarding to learn that fight because it is a very simple set of moves, and once you learn them, you're like, okay, I got it down, and it's never going to bother me again.
Good.
It's a fun
yeah.
hunt.
About it. That's your test monster essentially at that point.
Yeah, fun fight.
The wyvern riding is a lot of fun too, you can do
Her.
you can do
Does she
the
fly?
First monsters,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
She's solid, yeah.
Oh,
Fire
my
blight him,
goodness.
poison him.
Solid Pokemon.
Yeah, solid Pokemon. That's right.
Yeah, I'll give
She's
it
a great
that.
monster, yeah.
I'll give it the same. See,
I can't wait for fucking Stories 2, man. The game's gonna be so good.
I'm dropping Rise so hard when Stories 2 comes out.
dude, I'm such
Yo,
a
kinda
Monster Hunter
same,
noob,
man.
man. I can't wait to
Kinda,
experience
yeah.
I
it.
can't wait. I can't wait. PC version 2? Oh, 60
That's
frames?
I know.
cool.
Simultaneous launch on PC, just great.
Why would
so
I have
good.
to Rise, man?
What? Yeah, Rise is good. Rise is good. Rise
No, I
is a
mean
good
like
game.
no. I meant like for simultaneous release. Like what happened to Rise?
Oh yeah.
Nintendo.
I think
They
it's
bought
because
the year
Stories 2
exclusivity.
is just not
Nintendo
as a
does.
popular of a spin-off, and they can milk Rise by selling it twice, basically. But they don't know if they probably can doing that with Stories. So
Okay, that's fair
Yeah.
because people will probably forget about it when it comes out the next year. Maybe I don't know. Barioth.
Barroth by a miracle is not dog shit. He's not terrible in this game. He's got he doesn't feel I mean maybe it's because I was playing Hammer though, so I don't know. I haven't fought him with anything other than Hammer. Even when I helped people with him in the hub actually, so but he felt pretty nice with Hammer, especially so with Courage style. And that kind of makes sense because when GU he's pretty damn solid as like a run with Valor. I traditionally I hate Barioth in like every game, but I enjoyed Frostfang, and he's got like 2 Frostfang moves, which I like.
Okay.
Which ones?
He's got like the big slam,
Oh, that's a
and
Frostfang
then
move?
he's yeah,
yeah, it is, and it gives him an
Oh.
opening. Which
yeah, and
is
it's a nice
what
opening.
he
Yeah.
needs.
Yep.
Okay.
But he's still Barroth, so I'm putting him in D. I was gassing him up, and I was like, you know what? I don't like him that much.
I'm very
Okay.
upset with that ranking. I'm not happy.
I understand. I'm a Barroth hater. Yo, if Bracky was on this list,
Oh, done. S tier.
full rant.
Oh, I would have loved Bracky in this game.
Sucks, dude.
I hate Bracky. I'm a Bracky
What?
hater.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Yo.
World Bracky. No, I like Bracky in older games. World Bracky, nah.
What about Raging Bracky?
Raging
No,
is
World,
alright.
Fifth gen
Raging's
Bracky
okay.
sucks, man. It like 3U Bracky is so good, and then Raging Bracky and 4U was like top for me, like one of my favorite monsters.
What about Raging Bracky?
This isn't
in
even on the
World?
list. What?
Raging Bracky in World.
Addendum.
I'm sorry. Let's go.
What?
Let's go.
Let's say Bracky for another time.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
Bracky
yeah,
for the
sorry.
next one. For the next one.
Barrier.
But, who's next on
Had the
Barroth?
potential to be super low on the list, but surprisingly it wasn't in this game. I had to fight him a lot for the arena for the bow charge plus decoration, or out of the helmet, the bow feather. He actually was really solid with the pierce bow they gave you in the arena from it. I do like the fact that Henry pointed out he had some Frostfang moves. He had good openings because of that. So as a bow user, as I was able to like step away and dodge that attack, I could just send a few arrows flying straight through him. It was a good punish. It felt good. The fight felt good. I'll put him in C just because he's that much more important to that specific aspect of what I'm playing currently, which is for me the Mighty Bow skill, which is off of just the headpiece, which is all we have available right now. So I'll put him in C for that. And I didn't mind the fight as much with bow either. Pierce bow felt real good on him. It was just an enjoyable fight. C.
Ben?
Garbage monster.
Wow.
I don't like Barioth. I'm putting him in hard D tier. He
Wow.
moves way too fucking much. After you break his arms, he still fucking slides all over the place
Yeah,
like
he
he
becomes
does in
worse.
World.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking annoying. I hate fighting Barioth. I've always hated Barioth in all the games. Frostfang's okay, Sand Barioth is okay, but just regular Barioth, fucking hate him. D tier.
I'm losing my mind. This is insane.
That's because you're for your scale, it's like 3U, S tier. Everything else, D tier.
Well, I'm actually gonna put him in S tiers. Okay, hear me out.
Go for
I
it.
used to hate Barioth, so there's that. Used to hate him, but I found that learning his moveset and like as a longsword user was very rewarding because I got so good at the hunt when I needed to farm him in 3U. It was fantastic, and that just carried over into every other game. I love him aesthetically. He's so cool looking. He's one of the coolest looking monsters in the game to me. With like the amber tusks are like such a cool drop to have. Like I would have that. I would have an amber tusk mounted on my wall. Fantastic monster. Fantastic design. I love the fight. He actually keeps up with you in Rise, which is great. Like fast monsters really shine in this game because they can actually keep up with the hunters and their mobility. So I'm definitely going to give him S rank for that. 100%.
I definitely respect that opinion. That's
Fair enough.
very valid from a longsword's perspective as well. That is.
I know, but it's long swords. You have to knock it down.
No, yeah, I got the W, man. I got the W.
You're hearing this from Rad too. If you're a longsword player, fight that Barioth. Learn the mechanics on the Barioth. Everything else is just gonna feel good after that, man.
Yeah, he's so good. It's such a rewarding fight.
It's true.
Before we average, I'll raise my D to a C. He's a fucking like ice saber-tooth wyvern. He is pretty damn sick.
It's cool looking.
Pretty cool.
Let's go.
And if we ever get his G rank layered, that'd be sick.
I'll give him B, because like I think he's aesthetically he looks intense and really cool. His armor is like so like snow Viking kind of look, and I love it. And especially like Frostfang Barroth in World, like the way his armor looked, I was so happy with that look of the armor. But for Rise and everything, I definitely think a B. I wouldn't actively go out and hunt him, but I think he's just a pretty cool looking monster, and his logo too. He's like, yeah, bitch, I'm here.
He's pretty sick.
I think that averages him to either B or just still in C. I'm not sure.
So what do we have? We have a B.
We have an S, a B, 2 C's, and a dog shit.
I said D, not dog shit.
Yeah,
so I think that would average out to a B tier.
B, yeah. The S bumps him up for sure.
We saved him. Let's go.
Barioth, my dude.
Yes.
B for Barioth.
B for Barioth. Love it. I'm so happy, guys.
Tobi-Kadachi.
Oh, the monsters are like getting better and better. I'm looking at like what's left.
They
just get better.
Yeah, the A's are gonna start coming
except
in.
for Toby. Toby's dog shit. Sorry. There, you got my opinion on that one.
That's kind of valid.
So I'm not a huge fan of Toby either, to be honest. Like he's cool, but his fight's really boring.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, before Scoj can get in, let's just say dog shit, dog shit, dog shit, dog shit. And Scoj, go ahead. Easy. All right.
What's up,
So
Ray?
for I guess I'll go for Toby. It's like I never really liked him in World, and here they like as like someone who appreciates difficulty in games. I'm like, oh nice, they made Toby tougher, and then he killed me right after I said that on stream. So then I was like, okay, fuck this guy. But I was playing with Hammer and trying to head snipe him is like it's like me kind of like waiting for him to like stand still.
Okay.
He's got some cool moves. He's a pretty cool Wyvern ride. He's a good Pokemon. But I'm gonna give him a D. I like he's definitely tougher, which is cool. I definitely don't like I got the Toby stuff I needed. I don't think I have to do him again. I don't think I will, if I'm being honest. So sorry, Tobes. I'm giving him a D.
Oko. Oko's thinking.
So I'm a little conflicted on Toby. Aesthetically, I think he's fucking badass. This like scaly looking snake squirrel-esque thing with
he's just a shittier Zinogre Moko.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to, actually. That's what I'm getting to. He has like a Zinogre fur that they added on in like Iceborne. The fight just never, it was just there. He was just there. And it's a shame because it's cool. But now in Rise, I think it was an improvement. I like the fact that he throws quills at you, kind of like his variation over in Iceborne with the Viper Tobi-Kadachi. It throws quills at you. They shock you. It feels better. It feels a lot better.
So he's a Nargacuga. He has the nice thing about Nargacuga. He has the nice thing about Zinogre. He just stole all the good stuff from other monsters.
That's what I'm saying. He's like the smell of like monsters and Monster Hunter. He's just absorbing powers from people, which is. It's sad because he's like the mimic monster, kind of like your Olcadan from Soul Calibur. He's like your Olcadan from Soul Calibur. He had moves from every showed up, but no one remembers him, sadly, and it sucks because he has the potential to be cool. So I'll give him the C because some of his weapons kind of worked really strongly. Like right now, the Tobi-Kadachi bow and things like that. It's a solid elemental choice. So based off of equipment, I'll give him the C, but. Other than that, it's just another Toby fight. I don't actively seek out the Toby, although Tobi-Kadachi, I love you, dude. Sorry.
I'm gonna go D tier as well. I think Viper Tobi-Kadachi was way better. He can fuck you up, dude.
No.
But regular Tobi-Kadachi, like he hits hard, but he's just boring. All he does is like a couple bites and some tail slams, and now he throws quills at you. And like it's fine for a lightning monster, but like you don't really fight him in low rank either. You fight him in like kind of that mid tier area where there's a lot better monsters around. He just feels lackluster. So
that's not all he does too. He also like hangs on the wall and then does absolutely nothing for 10 minutes so that you can hit him and knock him down.
Yeah, he's on the wall
Red?
and lets you knock him off.
Like so silly, so silly.
And I was like, squirrel?
Yeah. I had to hunt him a bunch to get claws. Like the claws just were not dropping for me. I was so frustrated with that because I don't like Tobi-Kadachi. They've improved the fight slightly, but I'm gonna give him. I'm surprised you guys gave him D. Honestly, like I'm gonna go with C. That like the C is bad to me. Like he's not evil. But...
I'm looking at C tier, and like I'd rather fight. Rathian and Anjanath.
Yeah,
and
RC is very nice.
Like, yeah, okay. I'd much rather fight those than Toby.
Okay, if we're going based on like that, I'd probably put him in D. I'll go with D for that then. That makes sense to me.
A.
Why do you like him so much? I need to know why you like him so much.
Well, I guess one explanation would be I played Insect Glaive all the time in Iceborne or in World when I played it. So like I was with him the entire time instead of being like waiting for him. I would be with him. So like that would be one of my explanations. And then...
fighting him in Ancient Forest is atrocious too. Like, oh my god. I mean, I know this is Rise, but like, God, that really ruined my experience with him.
But I don't know. I didn't find him too difficult in Rise. I thought he was still pretty cool and he was still fun to fight. And but yeah, I love his little like when he goes into the air, he kind of spins around and goes like sprawled out and then like kind of tackles you. I like that. That's to me that's A. But
okay.
It'll be documented in the video.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for your take.
Oh man.
Thank you for your inputs, Goy. Would you mind dropping him into D, please?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I can do that real quick. So anyways, next up we got Mizu.
Oh, I didn't even notice. You would have got me there.
All right. Mizu though.
We're gonna start getting pretty fun.
Okay.
Mizu is pretty damn sick. Mizu was my first sign that I was gonna enjoy Rise Monster AI because a lot of GU. How many GU monsters were put in World? I guess it was just Glavis. So what am I saying? A lot.
It was just Glav, yeah.
Yeah. So okay, I guess. Well, I had Glav in mind when I said that. So like. Iceborne and Glav felt like a severely watered down Glavinus to me.
I agree 100%.
Yeah,
not as good.
Yeah, like it was good. It was good just because Glav is good, but like GU Glav is so much better. So I had a little bit of fear. Yeah, so I had a little bit of fear seeing like Mizutsune being added to Rise because I knew it was going to mostly resemble World combat on our end for like the hunters. But as soon as I fought him in the demo, like the first thing I brought into the demo was Hammer, of course. And it just feels really good. Like it feels different enough from GU. I kind of like that, like some of my GU knowledge carries over, but it's not like, oh, because I'm good at Mizu and GU, I'm good at Mizu here. There's a couple new things. You can still kind of get some easy, like little head snipes with the way Mizu turns around. There's some nice little, Mizu still has like the GU taunts where like it does its stuff and then does like the little roar in place. You can land something there. Yeah, like I honestly really enjoy this fight. Mizu is one of my favorite fights in GU, like really good solid flagship of the Fated 4. I'm gonna go with A.
Coco?
I'm definitely gonna go with A as well because I think Mizu was an excellent monster to focus on. Aesthetically, I find it very pleasing. I like the kind of charisma it gives off when it fights you. It kind of shows itself like, hey, I'm here. You're not going to really just push me over as easily as you would other monsters. For the most part, I like the bubble mechanic. It's different. It makes you think. The way that it moves sometimes has some of that time sense that I was talking about earlier. The whole time signature is a little off. It's actually a little different than most other monsters. And even the attacks it has, you could get missed by the first swipe, and then it comes around again because it's just so slippery. It'll catch you on the second hit. It makes you think. I think showcasing that monster in the demo was actually a really good thing because it gave us a good taste of what Rise will be about. People with that old school, old Monhun mentality saying, oh, I know what Mizu's like in the older games. let me fight it here. I see the similarities, but I also notice the differences. It still gave me something to learn, to overcome, and appreciate as a hunter who's returning. And I know from what I've heard so far with all the people that have never experienced Monster Hunter that come in Arise, they love Mizu specifically because it's just such an enchanting fight. I think it's a very involved fight. So A tier for me. Good job, Mizu.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna say A tier. The only thing that's keeping it from an S tier for me is that being Rise is so vertical based with all your wire bugs and stuff. Mizu's got some of the worst vertical hitboxes in the game. Like it just like anything it does hits like 10 feet above it, and it just feels really bad sometimes. But other than that, I love the redone Mizu fight. I love how it's got side beams to jump over, and then it's got this up beam you got to avoid too. All its new attacks are really cool. I like Mizu. It's just got some kind of wanky hitboxes, so I'm still gonna give it an A.
I can't talk too much on the hitboxes, but I'm definitely going to give it S tier. It is it's one of my favorite monsters, like one of my all-time favorite monsters. Aesthetically, it's one of my favorite monsters. I love its longsword. It has one of the best longswords in the game visually, to the point that I had like a visual mod in World that I would use and just put it on every weapon because I loved it so much. Cherry Blossom, super sick. It's mechanically, it was such a unique and amazing monster. Not just in the fact that the bubbles have abilities they can give you, like the green and red bubbles, but just Bubble Blight or whatever they call it itself is a multi-tiered ability that gives you a bonus at first and then takes that away from you, and you can like strategically plan around that. Fantastic when they do that. They do that with like Gore. They do that with a couple other monsters, even Regios technically. Fantastic fight, fantastic monster, fantastic mechanics, aesthetic, S tier, easily.
Respect it, dude.
Yeah, I'm like between S and A. I'll probably give it an A myself because like I do agree that like it looks absolutely beautiful. Like whenever I see the Mizu Hunt, I'm like, this is just, it just looks gorgeous. The theme is absolutely amazing. The different bubble moves I think is really fun, especially when you get hit a lot with one of the bubbles. You just kind of slip around and it's goofy as hell. I love it. Yeah, I think it's a solid A tier for sure. Just really fun.
I feel like G rank Rise Mizu will be super solid.
Yeah,
I hope
we get it.
But okay, so it looks like we have a solid A. There's 4 A's and an S. So overall, good rank.
Good rank.
And Nargacuga.
Ernie?
I really like Narga. This might sound like I'm kind of repeating what I just said about Mizu, but it feels really good. I actually, you know what? No, it won't be the same because Narga in Iceborne was like a pushover. Like Narga would like miss you by accident. Like half the time you didn't have to dodge. Like a lot of the things would just like
it just does it on its own.
Yeah,
his hitboxes felt too good. Like you could easily get through everything he does.
Yeah. This Narga feels like more threatening, more solid.
Do that quick tail slam.
Yeah, I love the like stalker walk into tail slam. It's so good because like anyone who's fought Narga before, we're kind of just like letting him walk, and then all of a sudden he just smacks you. Like that got me the first 2 times.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it just feels really solid. He looks really nice. Like the textures like look really good on him. And I've been farming him a lot to get all those medullas. I mean, if we even slightly account the gear thing, his weapons are like the freaking best right now.
They're the meta right now.
All weapons basically.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna definitely put him in A.
Moko?
I would have to say Narga A as well. I'm using a lot of his gear in terms of weapons for my final builds right now with where we are at. Aesthetically, he's always been a very cool monster to me. From Freedom Unite, when we originally fought him in there, that's kind of where he was introduced for me, and I enjoyed his fight from there. Me and my little brother have had a lot of hunts on Nargacuga, and it's good to see that monster still carry its tradition today. Like a lot of its high affinity weapons may not be the best damage, but if you build it right, if you put those pieces right, and you know how to understand the mechanics of the game, you're going to get a solid piece of equipment out of the Nargacuga stuff. That's why so many people are using it. And a lot of the newcomers that come into the stream and they're like, I've never played Monster Hunter before. What's going on with Nargacuga? Why is he so special? And it's kind of nice getting the chance to explain to someone new.
Yeah.
Not to particularly, hey, use this weapon because it's best, but this is why it's so good. And it's kind of cool to see these new players learn and realize through community and people like, something's different about this. Like, I'm sitting over here using this weapon because, like, I think it's the strongest on paper, but using the mechanics of the game, I think Nargacuga is, like, honestly, I might have to put him in S because he makes you think, actually. He makes you think in terms of build. If you use the game mechanics properly, he shines the best as of right now. I'll put him in S for that, actually.
Wow.
Okay.
So we got S, A.
I'm gonna go A tier, and this is again more gunner bias. The only reason why I don't think this fight is absolutely amazing is that once he's enraged as a gunner, you have no weakness exploitable hit zone. All his hit zones go away. The only time you can hit him is his tail when he's not enraged, but when he's enraged, you can't really hit anything effectively. And it's really fucking annoying to fight as a gunner. You pretty much have to like dedicate yourself to using elemental weapons or just deal with the fact that you're going to be hitting a lot less. So I like Nargacuga. I like his new attacks. I thought the hit zones were pretty jank. So yeah, I'll just give him an A tier.
I respect it.
Oh, hit zones. I thought you said hit boxes. I was like, what?
No, his hit zones are pretty ass for a gunner.
I like his fight a lot. I like he's a very fun fight. Similar reasons to Barioth. Like once you learn it, it's very rewarding, especially for like a longsword player. I found.
Most definitely.
And mechanically, he's really cool with the traps. He's just really cool with how traps work with him. If he will jump out of pitfalls if not enraged, and he'll jump out of I think the shock traps if enraged or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how it works.
Whenever I think it's
he'll jump out of pitfalls.
Pitfalls.
Rajang jumps out of either or when he flip floppies.
Yeah,
I think Garuga does the same where he'll get out of pitfalls when enraged.
Yeah, so I like that mechanic a lot, and I like his design a lot. I prefer the other Nargacugas over the original Nargacuga, but I'll still give him an A.
I would personally give him a B. I think like not insulting it at all, but like with Aknosom, it was a pretty cool fight and everything. I like the way it moves, and like you really have to like kind of learn its move, the way it moves to kind of maneuver around it. I think it's a solid B. I think it's a really fun fight and something that like whenever you see it, to be like, all right, let's fight this thing. But yeah, and the gear is absolutely amazing too. Like it had evasion, window, and
and crit.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
And the weapons are absolutely insane with a lot of like some white sharpness in there as well. So I
rarely find myself needing a reason to use any other weapon than using the Nargacuga longsword.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I think elemental has its place, but like at this point it's just like it's so good. Like you're doing like insane damage.
Oh yeah. So I think it's a solid A for all of us because
Solid A
for sure.
Yeah.
I was like,
sweet.
Rathalos. Let's just drop him in fucking S tier, dude.
Yo,
Talking about the
agree. I thought you were gonna say something bad. I thought I was gonna get some pushback. Yeah, I really like this version of Rathalos.
He's so good, dude.
He's really fucking good, and like could be a little bit of Hammer bias, but he's a fucking fun fight with Hammer. I enjoy him with a couple other things now that I've tried it. He's fun with Greatsword too, but with Hammer, it is like such a fun matchup. And like maybe like it feels even better because it's Rathalos. Like you look at him and you're just like, oh, this fucking guy, I need a plate or I need a ruby. Jeez. No, he's a lot of fun. I did not mind doing him several times to get the things I needed from him because he's just so fun. And I kind of had a feeling because they've been trying to make him better. Like, you know, he's like the staple flagship. He can't be too ass, you know. And then like Dread King was kind of fun in his own way. The Metal Rats were heavily improved, especially Silver Rat. Like they were both improved, but just talking about Rathalos, Silver Rathalos was a lot of fun. Won't talk much about Arzuros. He tends to kind of stay like in the middle. But yeah, this guy feels great. Like I don't think he's like S tier worthy for me because he's still Rathalos, but like I'll give him an A for me for sure. He's a lot of fun.
Okay.
Fair.
Marco?
I got some heavy bias. He is the reason I got into Monster Hunter. Walking into the game store for the first time, seeing him on the cover, going, that's dope. Picking it up, being the first monster to completely whoop my ass in the game, like hands down when I started playing it. Seeing him from where he started to all the different versions he's had, hands down, all 14 weapons used, my favorite fight. Because he is the most improved. He's won my MVP most improved award in Monster Hunter in general. We've had a lot of returning monsters. We've had a lot of improvements. We've even had that happen to weapons, even coming from, like, for example, just your hunting horn from when it was introduced to where it is today. There's been a lot of improvement. Rathalos, for me, has been that improvement, is a very near and dear monster to my heart. The whole reason I love Monster Hunter is for Rathalos. So I'm very happy to say that this version, my absolute favorite, and it makes me excited to see what comes down the pipeline, because now we have to go through all the other versions of Wrath.
You literally have him
Apex
tattooed on your
Rathalos,
arm.
here we go. I literally have him tattooed on my arm. Like, I love Rathalos. So for me, it's a little biased, but
That's tattoo bias. That's tattoo bias.
Good.
That's tattoo.
You gotta move him down one rank for that.
Dog shit. I'm just kidding.
Does that mean we have to move him up one rank for longsword bias?
No. I don't have a tattoo of a longsword yet, so we're okay.
I'm going hard S tier. This is probably my favorite fight in the entire game right now. I think he's the most improved fight of all the monsters, which is the reason why I was disappointed in Rathian, because Rathalos changed so much. I was like, dude, they could have done that with Rathian. I've done a bunch of TA runs now with all the gunner weapons on it, and even though he still kicks my ass, especially with heavy bowgun and stuff, he is still so much fucking fun. I absolutely love Rathalos. Yeah, S tier for me, easy.
Wow.
Word up.
I'll give him A. I actually get shit on a lot for saying how much I like Rathalos. Like, I love Rathalos. It's I love his design. People think it's a very generic design, but I actually think that Safi Jiva is a great example of a generic dragon design, and Rathalos is a much more cartoonish and unique design within Monster Hunter, and they did him really well. And I also agree that he is the most improved out of all returning monsters. And the only reason he doesn't get S tier is just because, like, I don't care about his fight that much, but I do like it, and I do like his aesthetic, and he is a very strong monster, and he's like the core mascot flagship, so A tier.
I don't have much to say about it, mostly because I haven't hunted it that much, and I'm sorry, look.
So mad at you.
No, but it's
Don't you need that mantle, or not mantle? Is it mantle?
The ruby.
The ruby. Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't gotten to that point where I needed it yet. I probably will soon.
So wait until
You'll need it. You'll need it.
you'll get comfy with them.
Rathalos gloves are fucking good gloves.
They're so
what do
good.
they
They are.
It's a
2 points in
attack
attack.
boost 2 with a level 2 slot.
Yeah,
All right, so we're
I'm
gonna go
wearing
after
them.
Rathalos. So,
That could be a wide range glove.
but yeah, I also haven't had the same experience as well, because I got introduced to this game, the whole franchise, through World. So,
But World Rathalos was ass, dude. It was so bad.
yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't know if I would rank it that high for me, because, like, I haven't had that much.
You have a bad taste in your mouth right now because
Yeah.
of World Rathalos.
So for me, I would probably place it like C or B for myself.
Wow.
So if we say S,
But that's what I'm saying, like, I haven't fought it that much yet.
I'd give him
Yeah, I
an
think
A.
he'd end up in A tier.
A tier? I thought it was gonna be.
It was
Isn't
two
it 3
S's.
S's?
2 S's, 3 S's.
2 S's, 2 A's, and a B. I think
Wait,
it's
oh,
an
okay.
A
no,
tier.
So A.
Yes. I did.
No, it was wait. Herning, did you?
I gave him A.
Oh, you did.
He had
Oh, I
three
thought you
A's.
gave
He
him
had 3 A's, I'm pretty sure, didn't he?
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess he's A.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll give it
It's a solid A.
Yeah.
He's a.
All right,
I like
my
how
boy.
Basarios is the high A.
My boy.
Zinogre's sick, man. Zinogre's freaking dope.
They did him so good.
Zinogre came in and put Tobi out of business. Like, he's the true thunder little guy we have. Yeah, he feels really good. He's got his back leg hitboxes, which is cool, but like I didn't even notice that until later because again, hammer. But he feels great. Zinogre has there's some Zinogre favoritism, I think, in the somewhere up top, because he stays pretty solid one way or another, I think. Like, I also really liked him in Iceborne.
Ichi knows he loves him, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. No, he's sick. He's got his howl back, which is
I've
I
heard
noticed right away.
I've heard
doesn't
people-
have a what's up?
I was gonna say I heard people have been saying that he's got his howl back.
Yeah, it actually sounds like a howl. I like that he takes a more in low rank. I was a little sad because you would kill him before, if you were doing pretty well, you would kill him before he got charged up. In high rank, he feels great in solo hub or duo hub, where he can actually get charged up. He gets the glowing eyes. He looks like a freaking X-Men character or something, like Storm. It looks really, really cool. And once he's charged up, he gets hyphy as fuck. It's awesome. Because until then he's like a little slow, but I do like that he takes like any like after like a landed punch or a missed punch, he'll like charge a little right there, like he just like he does he'll like charge whenever he can, which is pretty cool.
Well, and his charge animation is super cool now too. I like how all the bugs come out and then they absorb into him.
Yeah, it
really
looks
cool.
super sick. I got a really cool like Kahoot picture of that. Yeah, he looks fantastic. He's not like a lot of people like Zinogre is like their favorite. He's not my favorite, so that'll keep him from S tier, but
No one can beat Gore Magala.
yeah.
Oh, I love Gore. I want him. Please, Capcom. He's my absolute favorite. Gore. Oh my goodness. All right. Sorry.
No, you're good. I'll give Xeno a solid A for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he's an awesome monster. I think he's a monster that a lot of people actively seek out to hunt, and I think he does do a great job of throwing a lot at you. He'll have his Fulgur Bug attacks and things like that, and his Thunderbug attacks where like they come at you from the side, they swipe at you. His tail is a great hitbox on it. It makes you active. He keeps up with you. He gives you good openings in Rise compared to other iterations like from World. Although he was solid in World, I think he became a little bit better because they brought back some of the older mechanics where it gives you a chance to punish him. Like the whole theme of if you know how to play the monster, if you take the time to learn the monster, you can make the fight fun. Kind of like your Nargacuga and things like that, how we discussed before. The Barioth, learning the fight is a part of it, and then you're rewarded with this great experience once you are comfortable with the monster. So, not my personal favorite, but I can see why the community loves him. I'm rooting for him. I'm glad to see that there really isn't a bad version of Zinogre, which is cool. Solid A from me.
Okay.
I think he froze. I'm just gonna say that he is everything that Moko just said is exactly why I put him in S tier. He is a fan favorite and he is a developer favorite, and the fact that he is a developer favorite means they put all of their love and soul into that monster.
Yeah.
And he is an S tier because of that. Also, you were right in the fact that once you learn his moveset, he is a super rewarding fight. It's so fun. It is
Yes.
such a fun fight. 3U Zinogre is so much fun, and I'm glad that they brought that back into Rise because I wasn't like super happy with the world version of him.
While we're waiting for Fem to come back, to piggyback off of what you said, Rad, the whole idea of creating or learning Monster Hunter, that in essence is the core thing that I want to impart with the community. To the viewers watching, if you're struggling with any monster in the game, as we kind of do a little pseudo intermission here, take the time to learn the monster with the weapon you're using too. Fun fact, I never played all 14 weapons in the beginning. I was a great sword main back in Monster Hunter 1 on the PS2, and then growing up, once I got up to World and I started making content for it, I said, I want to use more. I want more. The game opened up so much, and I can't tell you that feeling that Rad's talking about and Henry's talking about of like learning the fight and then playing it on that level of knowing the monster. I did that 14 times with all the weapons. I had to relearn Zinogre. I had to relearn Nargacuga. I had to relearn Tigrex, one of my personal favorites.
I don't care how they pronounce it in the fucking trailer. Do not pronounce it like that. It is Tigrex. It's Tigrex.
It's 100% Tigrex.
I am so upset that they
with
said
the pronunciation
Tigrex,
of my
man.
childhood.
Oh
but
my
like
god.
the fight of it kind of makes a big impact on it, and you guys will learn over the time of doing these things. It gets to that point where like you start forming memories, positive memories in my opinion, of like, hey, I learned this monster with this weapon and I felt super comfortable with it, and it got to that point. So good. I have to definitely agree with Rad on that one.
Oh, we got Fem back.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so about Zinogre. I am a huge fan of Zinogre. I really like him. I do think he's a little easy in Rise. He's not very threatening because you can get through like 80% of the hunt without him charging up. I hopefully when we get like Apex Zinogre or whatever, that he starts already charge state, kind of like how Tempered Zinogre did and Apex Zinogre does. But for now, I'm going to give him an A tier. I think if he was actually just a little bit more difficult, I'd give him S tier because he is kind of a pushover, but still big fan of Zinogre. For sure.
For me, I would probably give him an S tier. I really enjoyed the fight, and that compared to World, like the way it did the different moves, like with the bugs going around him when he was charging up his attack and everything. Like I love that. And his theme is absolutely amazing. Like there's like a whole chorus with his theme, and I'm just like, what?
His theme's pretty sick.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, you're good.
I love how we all did the same thing. That's the hand on the mouse.
Fab, stay.
I'm still here.
Yeah, we got you.
But I would say for me, solid S tier for Zinogre. I love the guy. He's pretty cool.
Right. I think that's 3 S's and 2 A's. So
All right, so drop him an S here.
Yes, it
Nice,
is.
good. He deserves that. He deserves that.
He deserves it.
Yeah.
That's favoritism right there. That's developer favoritism.
Okay, I know I'm gonna speak out of turn because we have Izuchi next.
Sure,
I
sure.
Go
fucking
ahead.
love Izuchi. I'm doing hard A tier for Izuchi.
Wow.
You guys don't realize it so much, but I played him a lot in the demo. He is like a little Glavenus. He's got his tail fucking hurts. He's got some really strong tail attacks. Also like how he's the only raptor that attacks synchronizing with his little ads. So like he'll do an attack and then they do it and they'll fuck up your counters if you're trying to do counter stuff. I think Izuchi is just a fucking really good raptor. Right next to Great Macau for like the best raptor monsters.
oh, word
Like,
up.
He is really good.
Rad's face.
I'm a
Bad
big fan
takes.
of Great Izuchi.
Bad takes. Great Macau sucks.
What? He is Great Macau is a great raptor, dude.
Any fucking monster that like jumps on its tail and then like launches at you, I'm not a big fan of. So there's like 2 in this list that do that. So
I was about to say, ooh.
30?
Fun fact, I didn't touch the guy in the demo. I only hunted like Mizutsune or went off and did the Rathian and then eventually Magnamalo. I didn't hunt Izuchi until the full game. But I agree. He's a very unique raptor. Like it's kind of like Gen, like the new raptor, the raptor introduced in that game is always gonna stand out a little bit. Like Macau is very unique. And in the same sense, Izuchi is very unique. Izuchi is also like a really, really solid Pokemon as well. Like one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So much damage. I'm not like super crazy about him, but as far as Raptors go, he's pretty damn solid. I'll give him a B. B for Buddy.
B for
be
buddy.
for buddy.
Moko?
I fought, and I kind of share Fem's mindset on Izuchi. The introduction of a raptor with the Monster Hunter game, we're not new to this. And I think what they did with Izuchi was fantastic because it really catered to everything that they introduced within Rise. So you have a wire bug mechanic. You're mobile as hell. You're jumping around like crazy. And Izuchi gets introduced, and that fight, like Fem said, if you start learning the new mechanics in the game and you're like, yo, I can counter, or I can wire bug out of getting hit on the floor. Let me do that as much as I can because monsters can't seem to keep up with it. They purposely made Izuchi for the beginning of the game to literally make you rethink some decisions. Sometimes staying on the floor is better because if you get hit by that first hit and you wire bug out, you're going to run right into his ads and get mollywopped again. It's a great teaching fight. I think being as bold as they have been with Rise and introducing new mechanics and being this second pseudo world-esque game. I know we've had many old world style games. This is the second iteration of a new world style game. Bringing so much into the game, bringing new mechanics in, and then building your monster solely to teach people, hey, this is like the stop for it. I give him a solid A because he's a monster that taught me a lot. Me particularly when I was doing the demo. Like when I fought him in the demo, I'm like, bro, he kind of like kicked my ass in the beginning because I'm like, I wasn't using wire bug techniques. I was getting hit 2-3 times because he hit me, his ads hit me, and I'm like, what am I missing here? He forced me to get into the swing of Rise, so to speak. And for that, I appreciate him. So I'll give him an F.
Good?
This might be longsword privilege, but like he didn't teach me like anything. Like he was like,
You can counter a shit ton of his stuff.
you can counter everything with like for free, even with his.
Yeah.
I never had to deal with his little trio dudes
His ads.
like ever. Like not once were they at in any capacity a factor within my hunts. I did like he was like one of the first monsters you hunt, so learning his telegraphs and stuff like that was really good for getting used to using the 5th gen longsword. And he's a fun fight, and he's like he fits in with like the Jaggies and the Baggies and stuff like that. So I'd go ahead and give him a B. I give him a B. But like there's other monsters in this game that even with like longsword privilege, really you're like sweating and you're figuring stuff out and you're like doing it. But he didn't do that for me. He was bullied for sure. I bullied him.
I expect it.
Really, the first monster in the game you bullied?
Yeah, he deserved it too. He looks like a keyboard warrior.
I'll give him a C personally. He wasn't really that memorable of a fight for me, and there wasn't many instances at all where he would have the 3-player experience when you go up against him with his little minions. But I would probably give him like a C for me.
What did I give him? I don't even remember.
We got 2B for buddies.
2B for buddies.
2B for buddies.
Two
I give
B's,
him an
two
A.
A's, and then
Did I give
a D.
I think you
You
gave him
an
a
A?
B.
I gave him a B.
A.
Coco, what did you give him?
I gave him an A.
You did?
Oh, okay.
So,
2 A's.
so I guess
Two
B.
B's, 2 A's, and a C.
Two
So then
B's
it
and
would
a C.
be
2
Yeah,
A's,
B.
2 B's, and a C. Okay, so
I think
so
it'd be
Give him a
B.
B.
So
Yeah.
B.
B tier.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Where's the
Izuchi's
mouse?
cool though. He's one of my favorite Raptors.
He is cool.
Yeah.
Raptors are generally cool.
Oh yeah.
Except Macau.
all right,
Not a Macau
T-Don. My
Tetranadon.
boy T-Don. A tier,
Terry,
man.
Terry
I-
the Tetranadon.
I
him
love this guy.
so
he's
much.
such a cute, like he's just he's a guy, man. He's just a little guy.
He's a guy.
I just think it's really funny.
dude.
I hate how the Monster Hunter Twitter just had like 3 clips of him getting attacked like 1 week. I was like, what is that? I like replied, which was probably socks. I was like, what is this T-Don slander? Like, get this off my timeline. But I do really like him. And like, even though he's kind of like the Jagras, he's got some things. Like he's got some like going back to the time signature, he's got like some little delays with like his stomps and his slams. He's got like his sumo mode, which is literally like a sumo mode. Like he does like the stance stuff once he gets all big, which I think is really funny. He's got like a pretty cool pin if you can't wirefall out of it, but you usually can if you have one up. Yeah, I just think he's pretty cool. At this point, I think like I took a break and I just did him with like the bone greatsword in my playthrough. But it was really fun with greatsword, like being able to shoulder tackle the slam and then land something after. Like he's definitely like a more engaging of the beginner category monsters, and just because I think he's really funny, I'm gonna give him an A.
Roko?
I enjoy his place in Rise and how he kind of, like you said, you can use the shoulder tackle on him, or you can use, in my case, I was using a lot of the bow at the time, and just being able to sideswipe a lot of his attacks, but the ability to do that, there was a lot of serotonin going on there with that fight. I was like, oh man, that felt great to dodge. That felt great to dodge. His attacks are well telegraphed. I think you have enough time to kind of process like what's about to go down. So it kind of felt really solid in that fight. I do enjoy the fight a lot. He does do some solid stuff in there when it comes to his attack. There was one specific attack I didn't know automatically stuns you because I never got hit by it until I started using like Blade Master, and it's like that sumo air slap. Like he like claps the air and it hits you, and then you automatically just stun. And I'm like, yo, that's pretty cool. Like he sets himself up for another hit. It's nice. It's actually pretty nice. So for that, the fact that I actually do seek him out as a fight sometimes, because I'm like, yo, I need to test something out. Like he's one of the testing homies, so to speak. I'll give him an A just because of the fact that it works. And also, for healers out there, he does have some going on with there for that. His headpiece worked out well for me. So bonus points on my end. So solid.
What did I give?
I gave you the speed eating, and actually, if I remember correctly, normal rapid up 1.
He's got
Solid.
normal set for gunners, which is pretty good.
Yeah. So that worked out pretty well early on in the game for me. That was like the first thing I fought that I saw, and I was like, yo, boys and girls, it's starting. Like, let's go. And that's where my build
his chest
started.
piece is good. It's a normal up 1 evade extender. If you guys haven't noticed, evade extender 1 is fucking broken in this game. It's goddamn good. But
Are like the rest good, or is it just the first one? It's good.
just rank 1 for whatever reason. It's just a huge bonus.
The biggest
It feels like-
jump is rank 1.
Yeah, the biggest jump in evade distance comes from just 1 point. It's insane.
Interesting.
Damn, I gotta mess around with
Yeah,
that.
it's-
They'll slot it
Yeah.
in.
Don't sleep on that.
okay, so it's so good that I hate dodge bolt, the switch skill for bow. It switches your slide to like a parry. I hate it until you put evade extender 1 in, and then it becomes so much more usable. I love it now. Like
Cool.
it's that much of a difference.
Wow.
Anyway, Terry the Tetranadon, I'm giving a hard A tier as well. I really like his moveset. He's got a lot of interesting attacks. He's got a lot of fun, like just engaging attacks. He's got a couple phases, kind of like Zamtrios or Jagras did, whether or not he like goes and eats something and then he gets super fat. He's got a boulder throw, which is always fun as shit. I love that stuff. I just like the Terry fight in general. So yeah, I'm just giving him a hard A.
Hell yeah.
That hydro pump though too. I forgot about
He's
that.
got hydro
attack.
pump.
Oh yeah.
I'll give him B. I like his design, and I think he has a lot of character. I think out of any monster in the game right now, he has the most like character, the most personality. You can like take a picture of him, and he's very photogenic. He's cute.
Yeah.
He's like a pet, you know. So I'm gonna give him a B, but like his fight didn't wow me too much. I did like that he had a stun mechanic, but other than that, I found that he got bullied very easily.
B for Buddy.
Me for
Buddy.
Buddy.
B for bully.
I
For bully.
I'd give him an A.
We got 2 A's, 2 B's right now.
Yeah. I'm
All
gonna
right.
give him an A.
You're the equalizer. A.
Cause
A for A.
I found this fight to be really, really fun. My friends got gobbled up by him a few times, and it was really funny to watch. And then also he has this like one sumo looking move where he picks up like a huge block of rock and then just like waddles towards you with it, and it's hilarious. Yeah, the fight is pretty enjoyable as well. Yeah, I would probably give him like a solid A tier for that. Pretty fun.
Respectable.
His
Alright,
weapon
his
and
armor
armor
name.
designs are crazy too.
Dude, his armor is so cool looking. It's like Space Marine armor.
Yeah, freaking Ninja Turtle going crazy.
Bishaten.
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 He is pretty dope. As far as we've had a decent amount of little monkeys in the game, but he is very unique. Like the way he moves is so different from Blanganga, Rajang, Kongala, all those goons. He's got like the fruit stuff. He's a very like a lot of the original Rise monsters are very like unique and have a lot of style and character to them, and Bishaten definitely falls into that category. He can be a little tedious to fight, but like he's still kind of like he's not hard, but like you know sometimes he's just like hopping around a bit too much. Whenever he would stand on his tail, I would just do the hammer move where I go spinning. And since he's up top, like 5 out of the 6 spins like hit him, and it's just an easy KO or a mount or a ride rather. Yeah, I think he's super unique. He's really funny. He's a monkey, so I'm gonna give him B for Buddy.
B for Monkey.
Oh, and I liked his weapons for like early and B for Monkey. I liked his weapons pretty solid. Like I mean, at least his hammer was like early blue, solid raw. Like I fucked with his hammer and something else of his for a little bit.
Yeah, his Lipo gun's pretty good too.
So we got a solid B. Milko.
Bishaten's pretty interesting and very unique monster. I have to agree with Henry on that. I think the Rise roster of first appearing monsters have been pretty pleasing so far. And his fight was interesting for me. In the beginning, fighting him at the same level when I'm supposed to fight him, I found the fight very fun. Very like fresh. I'm like, oh my god, this thing's like hopping all over the place. There's so many mechanics. You can pick up his fruit. You can eat it. You can throw it. It's cool. It's intuitive. There's a lot going on there actually. So good job on that. His weapons, like Henry said, also it's a lot of things that people used. I actually used his chest piece because it gave me wide range naturally. So big part of my end is that helped me kind of form the builds that I'm working with now, and that was a huge game changer for me when I was playing through my playthrough of Rise. Throughout the game though, as I fought him more, I did find him a little more and more tedious. I don't know what happened. Maybe my mechanic or like the way my brain works with like the combos I'm trying to pull off or do on the monster don't work on Bishaten as easily because his variation in altitude when he's standing on his tail, what you have to do, like he changes so frequently, and he's a very hoppy, movie around monster, which is good. It just forces you to slow your roll down a little bit. You gotta work with him, not against him. So for that, I give him a solid B. I give him B for Buddy because it was an enjoyable fight. Gets a little tedious after a while, but I ain't hating on the dude. Good job, Bishaten.
I really liked the Bishaten fight initially when I first fought him because I thought like all his different fruit attacks were really fun and cool. I wish he had his big hand full of shit at some point so he can hit you with that because right now only Volvidon does stench attacks, and I want more of those. So I wanted him to just as a monkey with like his fifth hand. Just I want him to hold a big glob of it, just because that would be threatening and fun. He is a very tedious fight though. I like him, but he's just, I don't know. He moves a lot, and not that that's bad. It's just the way he moves is super weird. But maybe that's just me being biased and I want an easy fight. But he just feels weird. I'm gonna go B for Monkey because he is a cool fight. I really like him, and I like his fruit mechanics. I like him dropping all his fruit that you can use. I just wish he had Poo Hand.
Fair enough.
Fun
Very
fact,
valid.
real quick, am I crazy or did he change what fruit he threw at you from low rank to high rank? Like he had a different variation of fruit.
I feel like
in
he
high
uses
rank.
flash move a lot more often.
He's got flash fruit, poison fruit, and then mango that
heals?
just hits.
In high rank versus low, right?
No, he's got the same in low rank.
It did it in both? I just couldn't remember. I
What
honestly couldn't
does
remember.
change though is the amount of players near him. When he does like his volley of fruit, will change with the amount of players.
Oh yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Red?
Sorry about that. Super red.
I don't know. I didn't like the fight that much, and I thought it was a really missed opportunity to have a mechanic where he drops a bunch of fruit and you can pick them all up, but they aren't very crucial to the mechanics of the hunt in any capacity.
Yeah.
You can use them, but like not really. I don't think you're ever gonna find yourself like actively using them outside of like if you're not gonna be like, I'm gonna use the fruit instead of attacking and like get rewarded for doing that. You're much better off just attacking, in my opinion.
Good point. Good point.
Also, I dislike the fact that he lands on his tail throughout the fight because he can't cut it off, which is like big for me because I'm longsword main, and so I'm gonna give him a D tier. D tier for me.
Okay.
Respect.
I would personally give him a B tier. I thought there was a lot of characteristic with his fight. Like there was like whenever he did the flash move, I thought it was really cute. One of my friends mentioned that he would kind of like hide himself, and when he released the flash,
He gives you the tell by covering his eyes.
Yeah, and then when the flash happened, he kind of peeks over and like checks to see if everything's clear, and then he starts attacking again. I thought that was really cute. And then the way he runs away when you attack him a bunch is really hilarious too. He just kind of like gallops away. But the hunt itself, it did get more annoying over time, like you guys mentioned. Like from I don't know if it was like from low rank to high rank or whatever, but actually, you know what? I'll change my answer to C. I think it definitely.
Did you lower it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he lowered
Godly.
it. He was just like, now that I talk about it, I don't like the
decision.
fight.
Yeah.
It's like, this is cute, and I was like, wait a minute, it's not cute.
Okay, good.
But yeah, I think C. Like I think.
So the D is C.
And 3 Bs. So I think it's a solid C tier. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay. Throw it
Give
in
it
the
C
C. Do that. What's
C
this
for
called?
monkey.
C for monkey.
C for
C
monkey,
for
bruh.
monkey.
Okay, Somnacanth is an interesting one because Somnacanth is something I saw in the trailers and stuff, and it was like, this looks cool, but this looks like it's gonna be really annoying. Like anytime you give a monster like little things like things to flash, to sleep, and just like a lot of weird tools. I don't know. I thought it was gonna be really annoying, but it's a really fun fight. And I was very surprised by that. And same thing, I was trying to make something for Somnacanth early. Had to go back and do it a couple of times. And both with Hammer and Greatsword, at this point, I was like branching off a little bit with Greatsword as well. I found the hunt pretty damn fun. Pretty unique monster. I like that it swims away on its back. I think that's kind of funny. But yeah, it's got some cool moves, got some cool openings, has the potential to kind of mess you up as well. Has like the big like sleep Nova, which is pretty cool. Yeah, like I thought it was gonna be a lot more annoyed by this monster just by the look of the clips that they showed, but I was pleasantly surprised. So for that, I will give it an A.
Okay.
Somnacanth isn't my favorite of the new bunch, but even though I'm not a big fan of Somnacanth, I think that it has a good place in Rise. I think it has a good opportunity to learn and reward more aggressive play styles, because I've been able to come back to Somnacanth in the future after I got my aerial bow move and things like that. I can just use certain attacks, go vertical up in the air, and it's still doing something on a very horizontal plane, and still mollywop this thing and kind of put pressure on it. another good opportunity that rewards aggressive play style is when it's trying to do its flash. If you start hitting it, you can actually blow up the flash on the Somnacanth, and I think it gives you like a few seconds to wail out it even more. So it's kind of cool to see a monster that like has these varied attacks, is a sleep monster too. I really don't see that many sleep monsters nowadays, and it's nice to see one here used this way. Aesthetically, it's awesome. I love the fact that it swims back. I love that it has those little mechanics in Rise that, like, especially for aggressive players, and I can't harp on that enough. Like, I like that. I like the fact that I could hit it a few times and get rewarded for it. Like, Monster Hunter's like, oh, you decided to interrupt it. Here's a reward. Like, have a window to attack. Weapon-wise, I think his weapons are some of the darkest, man. Up there with like Khezu, with like his insect glaives, like his hand being infused with that sleep juice that he has going on into its wrist. Like, take a good look at his weapons. It's pretty gruesome, pretty badass in my opinion. His armor looks pretty awesome too. Some wizard stuff going on there. But solid B in my opinion. Solid B. I'll give him the B because it's different. It's very different.
Hot take here. I didn't care for Somnacanth. I was gonna give it a C tier. I think it's weird in the way, like, maybe it's just because I'm not used to the fight. I just think it's got a lot of weird attacks. Like, it's got a bomb shell, a flash shell, it's got sleep. Yeah. It's got a lot of weird statuses. It's got a lot of weird movements where his head hitbox is up and then down and left and right. And It's just kind of all over the place. And then, like, it does the thing where it kind of, like, floats on its back like an otter and zooms around the area really quick. I just feel like the fight is all over the place, and I didn't really enjoy fighting it. I don't hate it, but I just thought it was just kind of a mess of a fight. So I'm going to give it a C tier.
Okay. Brad?
I liked it. And I actually liked it for like the fact that it was able to just kind of pull something out of the water and that thing would do something different. The fact that it's the only monster that can do a blast ability, from what I understand, and unless you count Hellfire, but it's a bit different, right? I think it's the only monster that can apply blast ailment to you. Is that right? Yeah, that's pretty cool to me. Like, for a non-blast monster, the fact that it can pull something out of the water and do that. I also like that it's basically a yokai, but it's also like an otter. Like, I thought that was super cute. And it was a cool mechanic. Other than not being able to cut off its tail, I thought it was a good, fun monster. So I'm gonna give it B for Somnacanth.
Yes. Man, those longsword problems can't cut off tails.
If you can't cut off the tail, it goes down like 2 tiers, or at least 1 tier.
Shit,
so funny. It would have been an S rank monster.
I would place it an A. I personally really enjoyed the fight. I thought it was really I thought as well it was going to be super annoying when I saw it in trailers. I thought it was going to be just like one of those monsters where it's going to be like, oh, I have to hunt this again. But I enjoyed the fight. The whole move it did where it kind of like circled around you with like the sleep lights, and then would just kind of shake around this like coconut thing and explode. Like, everything would explode around it. I thought that was really sick. And just like the different moves it has, the sleep kind of teaches you not to like go crazy all the time. And yeah, I personally really like the fight, and the design is really sick too, the armor and weapons and everything. So agreed. I would say A.
I said B. A.
I had C.
Oh wow, A, B, C.
B.
I said A.
2 A's.
2 B's, 1 C.
Looking.
I think it looks
like
like
B?
a solid B tier.
Yeah.
B, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
So close.
Sorry.
Okay. This
B
is.
for
I mean, even if I
Somnacanth.
move my rank up to a B, it would still be a B tier.
This one. Can I start this one? Because I'm very excited about Magnamalo.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love Magnamalo. One of my favorite monster designs in Rise. I think it was fantastic. I think it was done so well. I think it was a fantastic monster that can actually keep up and shine with the hunters because of the added mobility and the mechanics that the hunters have. It's one of the monsters that goes the extra level to make it so that it's not just difficult because it hits you hard. It's difficult mechanically because it keeps up with all the stuff that you're doing. It's so good. And the fact that they pulled a combo from Eru Zarian and Monster Hunter Frontier and gave it to you in this game, but still gave you an out with the wire fall mechanic is like a galaxy brain decision. It's easily S tier to me. It is a fantastic monster. And Hellfire Blight, even though you only get blast as a as its weapon,
Hellfire Blade as a mechanic is interactive, which is always a huge plus for me. And on top of that, its armor set has like that that built-in Hellfire Blade, which is super cool. Easily S tier monster for me. Fantastic design, great design. Super happy with it.
Nice. Ready?
One of my favorite flagships thus far.
Oh, yeah.
Despite the kind of the time limit of the demo and the swollen HP, I just kept going back in, man. Like, it was just so much fun. And that was so, like, you know, we had Mizutsune, and we had the first demo, which was like a clue to like whether fights were gonna be good. But Magnamalo, I guess besides Izuchi, but I didn't really fight Izuchi, which is my fault. But Magnamalo was like my first Rise original encounter in the second demo, and I was like, this is good as fuck, man. Like, this is a good fight. And yeah, that was like my big clue into like, okay, I think I'm gonna really like a lot of the hunts, a lot of the like monster AI. But yeah, Magnamalo like puts up a damn good fight, like, and it's a really rewarding fight, like, once you learn it, like, especially with Greatsword. Greatsword is a matchup that I really started liking. But it's fun with lance, it's fun with dual blades. I didn't try it with any ranged weapons, but like almost everything I tried it, all the Blade Master weapons I really enjoyed. I never tried it with gun lance, but I'm sure it would have been fun. Yeah, it's a really solid flagship. It's definitely like, as far as flagships go, like maybe not all monsters, but it's like definitely in my top 5 of like flagships. I really want to see a Magnamalo and Nergi Turf War, if that'll ever happen, if we get Nergi in this game. Yeah. Yeah, he's dope. Just like Rad said, he like keeps up with you. He can like you can like clap him, but he can like really clap you if you let up like at all. And I like, that's like my favorite types of hunts. Like, if you know your shit and you're on top of it, like, you have the potential to just like utterly destroy the guy. But I like when a monster, not like just by like a one shot or something, but like I like when a monster just has also the potential, despite all the tools you have, to just like shit on you as well if you like slip up.
He keeps up with you. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
And that's huge. That's huge for this game, and I feel like they didn't like think about that for some of the monsters. Like, a lot of the monsters needed to be sped up. Like, Great Baggi should have been sped up, for God's sakes. It's Great Baggi.
Yeah, the speed is a big thing for sure. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna give him an S tier. He's fantastic.
Moko?
Magnamalo, in my opinion, has to be one of the most galaxy brain S tier monsters developed, because they thought Monster Hunter Rise, they looked at Magnamalo and said, we want our flagship, we want this hunt. And I hope to see more of what they did for Magnamalo in other fights moving forward. The fact that he keeps up with you, the fact that the skill ceiling kind of blows up with this monster in particular, because the more knowledge you have about the fight, the better you do. My demo experience, which I've never had with another monster like this, that isn't just extreme difficulty like Fatalis was in World, I had over 120 fails with the demo on Demo Magnamalo. I changed weapons constantly. I ended up defeating it for the first time and learning the fight the best and the most comfortably with Longsword.
Yeah.
The fight was beautiful. Like, you could see the excitement in my face when I got clapped, and I'm like, yo, I just learned something. The fact that Magnamalo forces you to think outside the box and really utilize everything Monster Hunter Rise gives you. For example, you guys are saying there was a move from Frontier brought in, which is amazing in my opinion, because that gives you the mindset that Capcom has, like, hey, we have a whole pool, thinking about it like Pokemon 2, we have a whole pool of moves to use, but the same monsters. Let's just cherry pick some stuff from the things that we never introduced to other people but exist, and let's show people. Let's get them excited about it. We know what it has to look like because we've done it in the past, but how are we bringing it to the forefront today? So good job on that. The fact that there's an escape for it, and the fact that he forces you to constantly be conscious of your wire bugs. That is the key for Magnamalo. If you are consciously keeping a wire bug in, you'll be successful. You'll be more successful. And that's a very important lesson for Rise.
Always having that extra one's really important, especially for the Hellfire Blade.
100,000%. And for that, S tier, good job. And this kind of monster is what excites me for the future of Monster Hunter, because it's showing you that it's not just cookie cutter. Like, we had this monster in Frontier, we have this monster in older games, that's how it is. No, now they're going to give us monsters, new ones or the same ones, but they can pick moves and add them in. I like that.
Right.
I like that.
I'm easily going to have to give him an S tier as well. Magnamalo is actually what sold me on Rise in general. Playing the demo, after seeing all the wire bug and the wyvern riding and how abusable that was, I was thinking, this game, I don't know if it's really what I'm going to like. And then they came out with the second demo with Magnamalo, and I was like, oh shit, they still know what they're doing. This fight is so goddamn good, even for a gunner, because if you guys don't play gunner on him, he's got no good hit zones unless he's like Hellfire Blighted, so you have to actively aim for the purple spots, which is really fun because he changes those up as his enraged state changes. So what you're using is you're going to determine, okay, do I want to be on the side of him? Do I want to be in front of him? Do I want to be behind him? I mean, obviously you can shoot his arm blade when he doesn't have any fire, but like it's literally just the bladey part. You can't shoot his arm, and that's kind of annoying. But
the hit zones are different for that.
Oh, they change all the time. And that's actually what they don't show you in the Hunter notes, is that his hit zones and his elemental zones change with his Hellfire state, so it's kind of misleading. But for Gunner, the fight is really, really good. It's a fast-paced fight. He can one-shot Gunner. Even max armor gear, he's going to fucking one-shot you. You just can't get hit. The fight just keeps you on your toes, and I absolutely fucking love it. Easy S tier.
Can't sleep on Magnamalo. I'm doing
Dog
100
shit.
of Magnamalo. Dog shit.
Just counter everyone. It's my tier list.
I think 1 dog shit tier and 4 S rank still makes him S rank.
I think that would make him A. I think you'd have to even it out a little bit.
Just
no,
pull
definitely,
the weight.
absolutely S tier. Love the
That's
hunt.
funny.
The entire hunt is just intense the entire time.
Yeah, until he dies.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't sleep on Magnamalo.
Then he's dead. That's it.
No
But, like,
downtime.
It really showed you, it really taught you how to use your wire bug. I feel like that was the one monster where I fully understood and fully grasped how to really use the wire bug, because like the move where you kind of like get hit back and you need to like bring yourself back up. Like I use that a lot, especially when he like throws into the air. If you don't move out of there, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So like
Wombo combo.
I love all of his movesets. And it really teaches you how to like maneuver him and like really fight him, and just everything about him. I just love it. It's so great. Definitely a great flagship monster, and just I can't wait to even see him in future games. I think that'd be really cool too. So absolutely.
All right, let's drop him an S tier, easy unanimous S tier from everyone.
No. Put Khezu above him though, please.
Yeah, keep Khezu first.
Has to go above him.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
It's like, whew, almost.
All right.
Okay, Goss
Harag.
Boss Kebab.
We're gonna get like 5 nicknames for him. He is the superior bear monster, man. I think that's why I don't like Arzuros as much, because he's got like the bear fanged beast body type, but he's so unique. One thing that I really like about this guy from like the first Twitter clip is that he looks like a it's gonna sound really simple, but he looks like a monster, like something you fight in like a quest in an RPG. Like, yo, like our hunters like haven't been returning from like the icy mountains. Like, go see what's up. Like, this is a monster we like go sent to be like slay. It's not like just like an animal.
He looks like a monster in the monster sense, not in the Monster Hunter sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Well put.
Yes, exactly. And I love that. And like, again, also like the kind of yokai kind of feel to him is awesome. I like the freaking ice blade. I like that he dual wields sometimes.
Yes.
He gets the club in high rank, which is awesome. And he's like he's a little slow and sluggish, but he does pack a punch. But he like can get like deceptively fast if he like throws all his weight into the attack. And that's like another thing too. He has really, really cool animations. Like, you really feel like the weight of like everything he does. It's been clipped a bunch of times, but I love that like if he KOs you, he does like the fucking like psychopath slow walk to you.
Oh, that wasn't just me. I wasn't sure if that was like what he does. Like, that scared me. That was so cool.
If he KOs you, he just like walks up to you, and that's just awesome right there.
It's terrifying.
And despite having like that fang beast body. He has good hit zones because I already liked this guy. I was like, please have good hit zones and please don't have a shitty fight. And his fight's awesome. He's got some solid gear. I don't really like counting that, but he's got some solid stuff. I messed around with the Goss Harag greatsword until I made the Narga one. Yeah, he's super cool. I really hope to see more monsters like him. I'm gonna put him in S.
Wow. S.
Yeah.
Damn.
For my,
Put him in
for my
S.
man Goss, for boss.
I've been
S
mainly
for
doing
boss.
him with
Boss
hammer
to
and
boss.
greatsword.
S for boss.
So might be a little bit of weapon bias there, but he feels fantastic with hammer and greatsword as well.
Okay.
Moko.
I'm gonna put him up there as well, actually, because he's that, to me, the way I can describe him from my playstyle and my, like, what I look for in a monster, he is like the sleeper monster. You look at him, you see physically a monster of a monster, like in what Rad said, not in the sense of a monster hunter monster. And you're like, all right, this is different. He kind of reminds me of like the Mortal Kombat Draman with that mask on him and that club.
Did anyone see that?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I just gotta follow.
Yeah.
In the middle
I
of
just
it.
turned my
No,
alert
yeah, I
off
did
because
see
it's
that.
on here
I am
too.
so sorry. Well, oh
No,
well.
that's so funny. That's so funny.
Just alien ship. So like
Okay,
he's that
that's
monster that
turned
he
off.
comes out and you're like, all right guys, we're gonna fight him. Let's see what's going on. Yo, he can chop you up, bro, real quick. He can clap you in a second if you're not paying attention. Do not sleep on our boy Goss here. He's definitely gonna be an S tier from me because although I don't use any of his weapons or armor, he's a monster that people at endgame right now actually seek because he's just that different. And the difference in mechanics, like they gave a monster within that bearish shape, the fang monsters, and they're like, all right, so he looks like everyone else. He does that little roar everyone else does, but he has a scythe, two sides, a club, and he'll mollywop you, bro.
I'm
I like
just gonna say, are we going after him because he's different, or are we going after him because we need attack decos? That's the real question. Because they are.
Good.
Or
Good
You need
point.
like
Going
3
to
blocks
because
of
there's
ice
only
per
3
deco.
good fights.
Yeah.
Probably for both reasons. I like the fight. I didn't even think about the attack deco part of it. So hopefully I'm speaking on behalf of like just the gameplay side of things and not searching for the attack decos, because that's actually probably the 2 main reasons why people would actively seek him out. He is a monster I seek out for the fight. So I'll throw that in S tier for that. And I don't use any of his gear.
Oh wow.
I'm also gonna put in S tier. If Zinogre is in S tier, Boss Kebab definitely deserves to be in S tier. Out of all the new monsters for Rise, he's definitely the best. He's up there with Magnamalo. Just design wise, he's just got such a good fight. His
Menacing.
attack state, whether enraged or non-enraged, varies very wildly. He's got a lot of really good attacks, and he's got good hit zones. He's got some, good end lag, so you can punish his stuff. He's just an all-around really good fight, and I like how he looks like a legit demon, not a monster.
Yeah.
Like it's more like a neophyte than anything. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I just really fucking like Boss Kebab, so S tier for me.
They put a lot of thought into him. Good job.
You guys got me thinking like did I not pay enough attention to this monster?
Do you not like
talk about
Boss
it. No,
Kebab?
it's
He
good.
skewers you.
I don't dislike him. Like I like him, but I wouldn't put him in S tier. Like I think he's like a very he's like a solid B, maybe an A for me. I would potentially give him an A based off just your guys' testimonials for him. But I do like his mechanics. I like the fact that he can create some weapons out of his body and then use them, like the club or the boxing glove, as some people call it, and then the sword. I like how he changes into like a red state when he's in enraged mode, and he does have some high mobility options, which fits with the style of this game. So I could definitely see giving him an A. He didn't wow me as much as he did you guys apparently, but I will say that I was very impressed with that, like when he knocks you out and then he just starts slowly walking to you, and I was like streaming it and I was just shouting at the people. I was like, someone please come get me, this dude is coming at me, please come get me. And then they didn't, and he just like whacked me, and that was it. It scared the crap out of me. Very intimidating fight, so I'd give it an A for sure.
Solid, man.
I would have to give him an A as well. I did really enjoy the fight. But then whenever someone asks me like what your favorite monster hunter is or monster is in Rise so far, I would always put other monsters above Goss Harag. But I like it. The Goss Harag does terrify me because he's so human-like too. Like the way he kind of walks up to you and fights and everything is so human-like that it kind of really scares me in that way too. And I'm just like,
he's Arzuros in a suit. He's Arzuros
Yeah.
in a suit. I'm telling you.
His Apex Arzuros coming at you. He's like, bro, you put me in dog shit, I'm coming. But yeah, I think it's a solid A for me. So I guess
I think that's S.
I'm a beginning
so
S.
I think it was like 3 S's.
Three S's,
Yeah.
one,
Yeah,
two
it's
S's.
S.
Yeah,
All right.
he deserves it, man. He's really good.
He is a
He's
good
just-
fight. He is a good
He
fight.
is a good fight, 100%.
All right, sure.
Yes. I'll be right back.
Ooh.
Rachna. Okay. I'm a big fan of insects, so I was really glad that we had one. But it's not like a kind of weak, whatever, like a 2-star or something whatever, like forgettable.
Yeah, because like Nursilla was pretty low tier insect.
Yeah, like it's an urgent, which is super cool. Very unique. It's got a roar. It's got a lot of power. It's got a lot of. This is kind of like similar to Bishaten, where like even though it's a monkey, it doesn't move like any other monkey. I think the only like Rachna move I've seen is like the double like pincer while walking forward thing that like Nursilla does, but like everything else is pretty
double
unique.
swipe.
Yeah, like I like how it'll like throw its little minions and like do like the great sword wirebug slide and like reposition. It's got like when it does the fire from under itself, it reminds me of like Hot Wheels or something, like mufflers on the bottom like doing fire. It just looks really funny. But yeah, it's like a really cool, unique monster. I haven't gotten like the best read on the fight yet. Like I've had to do it a couple of times, and like I got smacked around. I ended up using like a lot of mega pots on this fight, but I still think it's really cool. Like I enjoyed doing it. I'm sure it'll get even more fun, like as I learn it. But I'm gonna give this one an A because it's just it's a bug. It's the only bug, but like it definitely like stands out. It definitely earned its spot as like a whatever star monster. What is it, like 6 or
6
Yeah,
star?
it's
Yeah.
6-star monster.
6, 7.
It might actually be even 7-star.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It brings you into 7-star, so it's technically
Yeah.
a 7-star.
Yeah, so it definitely like deserves its spot there because it can mess you up. For some reason, I don't know if like my gear is weak to fire, but like fire things seem to hit me really hard. So like this thing killed me when I first did the urgent. I think like twice even. But yeah, it's like it's super cool. I hope. And this made me realize that like if we do get more bugs or like even crabs, that I hope we don't get returning bugs or crabs, just like more new ones, because this
I would
is such
like
a
new ones too.
yeah,
I'd like
like
new ones.
their take on like the new creatures we've seen have been so unique, especially with Rachna. So yeah, super cool. I'll give it an A.
Since it was announced, I knew automatically that like I was gonna love this fight because I love the insect fights in general. I love the crab fights in general. This looked like a little bit of a mix of both, and it's their fresh take, and kind of like what Henry said, where like all the new fights from Rise, when Rise debuting monsters, have been pretty much fantastic. So there's no exception here. This monster, I'm glad it's at the end of the game. Like as I was playing through my hub quest, I was like, yo, where the hell is Rachna? And then once I got into that, I was like, oh, this is where they put him. Okay. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Although, as a bow user, its hitboxes blow my mind to no end when it has like its fangs up and you pierce through the fangs and hit the head. You're not hitting the head. It is inaccessible as its fangs are up. You're only able to do good damage on it when it protrudes its face out. That's when you hit it. It blows my mind. But other than that, I still actually seek this fight out. Like, as I'm chilling out off stream, I'll go on hunt and I'll do like SOSs to help people. I will go do the SOSs for Rachna because like I just enjoy that fight so much. It's a lot to think about. Its moveset is great because it's very mobile like we are. The fire moves do mess people up a lot. And I do find myself chugging and using a lot more megapods for my teammates during that fight. And it's nice seeing me play with the same people sometimes and have them learn the fight and get better at it. So I think it's a great monster kind of sink your teeth into, no pun intended, like he does to us. But solid A for me because I do really like it.
I was gonna give him a B tier. I think my main gripe is twofold. In that one, yes, like Moko said, his head is not actually an active hitbox unless it's outside its body. So you can't use Pierce Ammo or Pierce Bow on it as long as its claws are near it, and you can't break its claws like you could in your Scylla's. So they're always there. So it's kind of a hamper for gunners. And then, if you didn't know, the head is his only good gunner hit zone. Everything else is just garbage beyond garbage. So it's really awkward to fight as a gunner. But the fight itself is really cool, and I love its second phase where it like wraps up the big sack on it, and it's like just a big spider, and it just wails on you with its butt and this other shit. I think it's really cool because it's got like 2 different fights basically in one when it does that. But it's just really hard to fight for me. So I'm gonna give him a B. I really like it. I just thought it was just kind of weird. So
Okay.
Respectable.
It was an easy S tier for me. It was like there was such a build up to it because we knew it was in the game from the get go, and then we don't see it until like basically the end of the game. So it had this huge build up that it actually what's the term? It like met it. You know what I mean? Like it was
a nice payoff.
Yeah, a nice payoff, exactly. It had a great payoff for the build-up. It was a fantastic fight. It had all these amazing, but like all these amazing mechanics and attacks that were well telegraphed. I really enjoyed it. It was a spectacle. It felt like in a game of boss fights, it felt like a boss fight of boss fights, like almost like Narwa to me. So I'm definitely gonna give it an S rank for that.
that's fair. It is very visually pleasing as a fight.
I felt like as a content creator, if you were fighting Rakna and other people were looking for a stream and they saw Rakna on there, they all would jump in because they're like, yo, this thing is insane. I haven't come across it. How do you feel? Like, there were many questions involved when I was fighting Rakna. And I do agree with Fem here too. Like, it's a spectacle, dude. It's a good looking monster and a good looking fight. I like it.
Yeah, Rakna is definitely probably an S tier for me too. Like whenever people would ask for my favorite, that's definitely up there. And like the fire moves that it does, and like how it goes into the ceiling, it kind of just does like a circle fire move. I thought that
Fire
was
insect, bro.
really sick. Yeah, and then
Am I the only person that didn't give it an S tier?
yeah.
I gave it an A.
Actually.
Oh, you gave it
Two A's, 2 S's, and what did you give it? A B?
a B. I think I would like
Yeah, I gave it
automatically
Might be A.
So I think it's an A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought it was an absolute amazing fight. It freaked me out too. I don't because I it's just visually it looks so crazy and intense, and I love it. And like how it like loses its webs around its body as you hit it a lot. Is really cool too.
I did like that.
Am I the only one that thinks that its icon doesn't actually represent what it looks like?
It's a little weird. It looks like a fish.
Yeah.
I got from the map. I always
I
get
see it.
confused with Rakna and Anjanath.
I don't know.
Andrew?
I see it. I think it looks like Rakna.
Yeah, I think so
fair
too.
enough. I don't know. I just thought it was weird, but
Yeah.
all right.
Rajang.
All right. Rajang, the old
man.
tried and true
Monkey.
Guy.
monkey.
Dude, you made a whole video on this thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this guy an S tier for sure. Rajang's one of my favorite fights. I made a whole freaking video about it. But he feels really good. He does feel slower than Iceborne. But dude was cracked out in Iceborne, so like
Yo, for real.
so
God.
it's kind of okay. And it's not even just like I didn't super disliked Iceborne Rajang. I think Furious was a more enjoyable version because like it was a bit less erratic and things to punish. Here I really like, and also like I think the perfect Rajang will be like the G rank version of this. But I do really like this version anyway. He still feels pretty threatening. I like how there's like a little twist on some returning moves, like his Dempsey roll. He can like start to turn it, like he can like
Does
angle.
he do a
different ways.
Dempsey roll? Is that
scared
what that
me when he
is?
did that.
Yeah, that got me a couple of times.
That's so sick. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, he does the slam more often, which I think is good because we got a couple things we can do to it, like wire bug counters.
Well, the hitbox isn't as bad as it was. Like you can actually roll out of
you can
it.
actually roll it. Yeah.
Yep.
The roar wasn't like that wide. It was more close than it was
what?
in World. The roar.
Yeah, he has his GU in Rage Roar where it's like really small. It still sends you flying, but it's like small, which is nice. You can just like kind of
radius
step
is
away for a second. He just like feels really good. He's got a lot of like little punishes. Like if he misses his pin, he like just stops there for a bit. like now after he doesn't have the like jump while punch into the ground move, which I hated.
Thank fucking God that ruined the fight.
Yeah, that was like the worst move ever. He still has like his like frame to little jab, but he doesn't do it that often, and he doesn't combo it into like a beam and like crazy shit.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm gonna go back and say that he doesn't have the punches in the crowd move again. I hate that move. It sucks. He doesn't have he doesn't grab a wall and like stop your topple from being a topple, because like what the hell was that? It was cool at first, and then it was like, all right, enough.
Start grabbing air.
Start grabbing air.
Oh, that was another thing.
Yeah, he's got like hitboxes all over. But even besides that, like even if his head was the only good hitbox, you can actually hit it. Like I used to like always like hit his shoulder or I don't know what it was about Iceborne.
Bounce off his arms.
Yeah, like I sucked at hitting his head. But like I first played him with Hammer, and like I almost like switched back to Hammer for that fight. He's fun with Lance, he's fun with Greatsword, but like Hammer feels really nice. He has a couple of pauses where like not only does he pause, but he just does his roar, so he kind of like sticks his head out. It's perfect for just like landing whatever you want to land. Yeah, he feels great. He feels super super good. S tier for sure.
Fair enough.
Moko.
So I think Rajang is an interesting story because when he first debuted, you didn't have anything to compare him to. He was different, and everyone kind of took him at face value. Then he jumped over into World, and I think it was one of those examples of you went forward, but that's just a little too much. Let's go back. Let's dial it back. I think he was way, way, way overdone, and his moves were way like the movesets were way too small. There was no hitboxes to like kind of not hitboxes, but no punishing timing. There's no punishment on him. You had to almost play perfectly and literally predict his moves to kind of be comfortable with the fight, or just get someone in there, a bunch of people that know what they're doing, just mollywop him to not let him get to you. So I think Capcom saw that, and I think I want to praise them on this because they saw that fight and they saw how everyone in the community is like, I don't know about this, Chief. Then Rise came out, S tier. They dialed it back. They gave him back his little roars and taunts and things like that, giving you an opportunity to punish. And that's, again, the key here. We're very mobile, so's Rajang, and yet he still keeps up with you. He's punishable. It feels good. I also love the fact that at HR4, you can encounter him, and he just doesn't come down.
He's just sleeping.
He's just sleeping. He literally
so
chills for the whole hunt if you'd leave him alone. But like me and two of my mods that I was playing with, I was like, yo, y'all want to get this Rajang real quick? And we went up there and we can do it. Like you can challenge him if you want, for those that know. And it feels really rewarding. I love the fight. They fixed him. And I'm very excited to see the G rank counterpart, like you said, Henry. Yo, S tier. Easy.
Wow.
Plus great gear.
Bem.
Oh, true.
Yeah, let me do mine, then I gotta use the restroom really quick.
Yeah,
But yeah, I definitely give him an S tier. I think he's a good improvement over from World. He doesn't have the grab from the walls, which is amazing. I do think he's a little slow and weak because he's really easy to punish now, but maybe that's just because I'm so used to fighting him in World where he literally couldn't be stopped.
He's cracked
ever.
up. He's cracked up.
But I do like, as a gunner, you want to hit his face, but like his tail's not a weak spot until he's actually red arm enraged, and because that takes him out of that state. For being a gunner, it's really fun to switch between head and tail to knock him out of his stuff because his tail becomes a usable hit zone. And so I really like the Rajang fight in Rise, to be honest. So yeah, I'm still giving him an S tier.
Sweet.
And then
Go to the bathroom. Gorilla the Spinna, like easily my one of my favorite monsters in the series. I love especially Furious, and like just the fact that he can go Super Saiyan I always thought was really cool. I'm actually not going to give him S tier in Rise specifically because I think that they've done invasive species poorly in this game. I think what made Rajang really cool, like he has a cool mechanical fight, and I like mounting him because you can just hyper beam nonstop, which is really cool. But invasive monsters are not threats in this game whatsoever.
No.
And that really bothers me, and that's a mechanic of how they've decided to have like always have 3 monsters on the map at all times. It's harder to if anything, it's a bonus to have invasive monsters on the map because they're mountable, and then you get extra damage on whatever you're hunting, and then they go away. So it loses some of the fear that it instilled in you, and that was a big aspect of the monster for me, but it's still a very cool monster, so I'm going to give it A.
super respectable. Good point there.
I think I'm
With the
gonna
invasive talk.
build up on that as well. I think I'm gonna give it an A too, because like, it wasn't as intimidating as it was in GU or in World. I felt like it was, I felt like it was very awesome. It was still like really intense and really cool to fight. And I did find it annoying in World how he would just grab you and just breathe in your face and kind of just throw you around and everything. But I think I would place it at an A, and I definitely think it's amazing to Wyvern ride. I think it's an awesome Wyvern ride.
One of the best.
It's one of the best for that. Yeah, I think.
What did Rat give
You
him?
shoot a beam at another monster. What the hell,
You gave
dude?
him
That's
an A,
crazy.
I gave him an A. I gave him
Okay.
an A.
I gave it
3
an
S's, 2 A's.
Yeah, have you guys noticed we don't have invading monsters?
Yeah,
Like, really?
dude.
No.
Rat
Well,
just-
that was
Brad
my
actually
main
touched
reason.
Based on that, yeah.
Yeah,
I kinda
was
missed
like,
that.
he's the invasive species, but he doesn't invade. So
Yeah,
that
like
was
we
an
don't
issue
have
for
like
me.
a Joe or a Goose or a Steve.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
just
that
takes
was
he
my
just
issue.
takes a nap. He takes up the 3rd slot in the match.
For real.
It's really
Right.
fun. Lightning
Yeah,
round.
yeah.
Tigrex,
Tigrex.
definitely some weapon bias, but I'm gonna give him an S as well because with hammer and
Really?
greatsword, you can head snipe a lot. Like he does his like turnaround, and he doesn't just like immediately turn around into an attack. And again, greatsword. I've like only greatsworded or hammered him, but he is so freaking fun with those 2 weapons. So for me, I think he's an S tier.
Moko, go.
I'll say Tigrex for my boy Rad. I got you, but I will throw him in S tier because the fight himself, another near and dear monster to my heart. I've been fighting him since the beginning of his debut.
Oh, damn.
I learned Greatsword with him. The punishes you can do on him, especially when he's charging at you, when you time it, have to be one of the most serotonin-inducing moves you can do on the Tigrex. Like, is nothing better than seeing this dude trying to charge you, and he could kill you if he hits you, and he's doing that much damage. But you say no with that Greatsword, like Henry said. Chop, dud, and done. His weapons, I love his weapons actually. Brutal Strike, negative affinity hits, I'm actually a huge fan of. I'm glad to see it back. I want to see a little bit more with it, so hopefully we get a little bit more negative crit, Brutal Strike-esque things going on. Other than that, S tier. I enjoy Tigrex immensely. So
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I was going to give him a B tier just because compared to previous Tigrex, I'm usually terrified of Tigrex.
I saw your tweet about it,
but
yeah.
because his charges, they don't always end with like the spin to win or like the double bite. He just kind of ends his charges prematurely. It
Just kinda
doesn't
stops.
feel like much of a threat in Rise. Like I haven't ever really had a trouble fighting Tigrex. So I feel like he's a little bit of a down step compared to previous versions. I still like him, but I just don't think he's as terrifying as he usually is. So I gotta give him a B.
to
Rad.
piggyback off that, I can actually see the what you call the downgrade because the wire bug mechanic actually probably this would have been another great monster to learn wire bug on because if you recover after he charges at you, he'll just spin to win and hit you again. That was an opportunity to really learn keep either not use the wire bug or use it at the right time to not get hit twice. So I got to agree with you on that.
I agree with Fem. It was a downgrade from the previous entries when it comes to intimidation. He is one of the most intimidating monsters in early generations, to the point that when I first started playing, he's what made me quit the game. So I'm definitely going to give him a B in this one because he's a shadow of his former self. But I am
His
very
former self.
excited to see Molten if they add him. So that'll be fun.
Or even Brute.
I,
Brute and Iceborne was amazing.
what would you give him?
I gave him a B.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
gonna have
2
to,
S's and 2 B's.
I'm gonna have to give him a B as well. I personally didn't really enjoy the fight that much in Rise. I think it's because I've been using like weapons like Hunting Horn and Hammer. I think I might have a lot more fun with it with Longsword because I probably evade a lot more with it.
Everything's more fun with Longsword, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I love World Tigrex or Tigrex a lot more. I thought it was an absolute blast in there, and I haven't fought it much in GU, but I think for me personally, I think he goes in B for me.
Looks like he's gonna average out to a solid A then.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Ernie
Diablos,
Diablos.
Alright.
old Diablos.
Diablo's pretty solid. If they gave him more bloodbath moves, he would be higher, but he's still pretty fun. Like Again, this might be weapon bias here, but he's been pretty fun every time I've done him. I'll give him an A. That's
Honestly,
pretty much it. This Diablos hasn't changed too much.
I'll give her a solid A because of the fact that, like, yes, not much has changed, but they gave her some bloodbath moves, which I was excited for. I'm excited to see what Black Diablos may bring to the table in terms of, like, damage or more moves in general. Again, given that whole scenario, you have your pool move set. Let's go cherry pick some stuff over. I like that. Bow on the wings, love it. They kept that. Feels good. I believe Fem will let you know the kind of damage numbers you can end up hitting on that Diablos too. So solid A for me.
I'm gonna
Those
give him an A
wings.
too. The only thing that's actually keeping him out of S tier for me is that he does have some really weird hitboxes. Like, I love his new moves that he got from Bloodbath, but some of his attacks just don't seem like they hit you, and then they do. And like, he's like one of the few monsters that have some pretty jank hitboxes in Rise. But otherwise, though, I love him. I've always liked Diablos. I mean, at least World and this one, like previous iterations, didn't care for, but it feels good. So I'm gonna give him an A.
I always thought Tigrex was a cooler monster than Diablos, but Diablos actually managed to keep the intimidation factor in this one.
Yeah.
I think it's a very intimidating monster. I think it manages to like be hyper aggressive throughout the majority of a hunt, which is very good and is one of the things that I praise a lot of like monsters like Magnamalo for within this game. So I'm definitely going to give it. I almost want to give it an S tier, but I feel like Black Diablos is going to be better, so I'm going to give it A tier.
I'll definitely swing with the A tier as well. Even the logo looks intense. Those eyes.
Yeah, it's sick. It's a super sick logo.
Dude, the black mouth it gets when it's enraged. Is
Yes.
scary.
I thought Hyper was in the game for a second. I was like, what the hell?
Stop.
I was like, oh, what happened here?
Definitely think it's a solid A tier because it's just like the intensity is still there with Diablos. Not only that, it's a really good monster to practice on, and the double Diablos quest they have in Rise, that thing is intense. I love that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
gosh.
That's like the
Alright.
only double monster hunt in the game too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and the
of
Volvidon
two?
had one too.
There's two baggies. Two baggies.
Two
there-
Baggies, two Volvidon, and two Diablos.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be crazy.
Alrighty.
So the last
Ibushi.
two monsters.
For the sake of our homie who's got to go, I'm gonna pair these together and I'll explain why. I actually enjoy them very much, and Ibushi is locked behind a rampage. So to me, Narwa is like if Ibushi wasn't locked behind a rampage.
Right.
So the rampage bogs it down. Oh no, so Narwa has a lot cooler moves. So I'm gonna put Narwa in S tier because it's not in a rampage, but it's actually really a really fun fight. It's got some really cool like telegraph things you can do. If you're like positioning right, and I watched a couple runs for this, you can like already be waiting with a greatsword charge, like where the belly is gonna be and stuff like that.
Yep.
It's like one of the coolest applications of like ballista in cannons. Like I actually want to go use them because it's like really like strategic. It's like they're not always there. It's like, oh, I don't want to stop fighting to go shoot the ballista. It's like
You don't have to gather anymore.
yeah,
That's
it's
nice.
like opportunistic stuff. Like the damage is pretty solid. The machine gun, like it's probably the coolest like usage of cannons and stuff. So Nara was an S. Ibushi doesn't have all that cool stuff, but it is still a fun fight. But since it's more bogged down and it's in a rampage, I'm gonna put Ibushi in B. So Narwa in S and Ibushi in B.
You put
for me.
Ibushi that high, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say C actually. I was gonna say C.
Say C. C for coward.
See for
Yeah, I'll put him in C for coward. I'll put him in C.
Oh man.
Since I'm giving
Tier I was
Narwa
putting
the
him in
S.
is a lot
Yeah,
longer, but okay.
yeah.
So the Ibushi fight and the Narwa fight, I think, are fantastic examples of what innovation is going to look like moving forward in some of these monsters we're going to be receiving in Rise, and hopefully moving forward in general in Monster Hunter. I want to say that Ibushi and Narwa are very good examples of frontier-esque fights in a way, because they really incorporate a lot of the movement and mobility you get within this game, and they incorporate a lot of the things you receive in this game. I also think, kind of agreeing with Henry here, Ibushi being locked behind a rampage is a little sad, but Narwa is what we would get if Ibushi wasn't, in its own way, kind of like a variation. I think if you're going to introduce those Apex monsters stylistically in this way, maybe they would, like I said, like a pseudo-aging, like a fully aged Apex, or a different version of the Apex. So you're going to get an Apex in the Rampage, but you'll get this special version of it in an arena-esque quest for more difficulty, different mechanics, different moves. There's opportunity here, guys, and I think having it here in this spot is fantastic for us to talk about, because this is literally where we're up to right now. If you guys are watching this, we're literally talking about what we're doing endgame wise in Rise. I love the Narwa fight, S tier. Ibushi, I'll give the homie a B just because that was the initiation of this is what Monster Hunter can be like. Welcome to all these new people.
Yeah.
It was a great climactic ending. Like, if that was like my pinnacle of Rampage fights, Ibushi, I was like, yo, that was actually worth for me. So B and S for Narwa.
Do you want to let Rad
Okay.
go?
Oh, yeah,
No,
go.
it's okay. No, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I'm good.
Okay. I was gonna say, Narwa's easy S tier for me. Of all the large monsters and final end game hub monsters, this is probably one of the best. It doesn't like force you to run the cannons and the ballistas and stuff, but it also makes it easier and more strategic, and it requires some pretty big brain strats to do this fight effectively, and it looks really good when you do. The fight itself is just really good. Big fan of Narwa. Ibushi, on the other hand, again, because it's tied to Rampage, and that all you have to do is just drop the nuke and then just wail on it with counter signal, and like it doesn't really get the chance to do a whole lot. I'm not a fan of the Ibushi fight, and I know they're pretty much identical fights. They're damn near identical, but the Rampage just makes it so just not a threat, and it's just time consuming. So I'm gonna give it a D tier, to be honest.
Wow.
Okay.
Rad.
I'm actually I agree with Fem. I'm gonna give Ibushi a D tier, like pretty much just based on what he said. But with Narwa is S tier just because it is exactly it is utilizing everything that the wire bugs should be used for. Everything that you would want to use wire bugs for within an arena environment gets created by Narwa. It is like so smart. It is exactly how you should do a siege fight
gauntlet.
within Rise. I don't know. That was so good. It was so good. Like being able to climb up and wire bug onto the ballista. They do a ton of damage. It's such a cool fight. It has all these openings. You can plan for all the openings very well, and then you get like super rewarded for them all. I don't know. It was such a fun fight. I was really surprised with how good it ended up being.
Unfortunately, I feel like people are going to get burnt out of it, like Kulve Taroth, because they have to grind it so much for decorations. It's going to kind of spoil the image of that fight in the future. But it's really good. I just think people are going to grow to hate it.
Don't worry, I quit Rise now. I'm just I'm waiting for the title updates. I like what I got now. I'm good.
For me personally, I love Narwa. I definitely agree with the S tier ranking for Narwa. I think it's like the fight is amazing. The fact that it does like so many different moves that's pretty much different every hunt you go into that thing with. It's so much fun. Loved it. And then for Ibushi, for me personally, I would place it in like a B or A tier because just like the different moves it has in the end with the rocks swinging around it, and then the like the different beams it has, and also the music as well. I think it's like that's mostly a nostalgia factor, but it's so good in that fight. So that would probably place in like B or A. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
locked
pick
behind
one.
the Rampage.
You gotta
B,
pick
I'll
one.
place B.
Okay, well then I think with our 2 Ds, it's going to average out to a C.
All right,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right, there we go. That's our tier list.
Wow,
Sorry, let's look
it's
at this
pretty
one.
even
too.
until the end there. Yeah, I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'd say that's about right.
That's
Very
solid.
rate skewed.
Yeah. We really know who we don't like, and we really know who we like, and in the middle is kind of like,
In
these
the
guys
middle
get
is just yeah.
smashed.
Yeah.
It's a hunt.
I think that's how Monster Hunter games kind of go too. Like, you know who you really mess with.
Yeah,
and then-
there's some really bad hunts, and then some really good hunts, and a lot of forgettable hunts.
Yeah, just
Yeah, it's
everyone
in between.
just goes there.
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised.
Fun ass game though, in general, for sure.
Yeah, where did Rakna end up?
A tier.
A?
In A
That's
tier.
fair.
A.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Okay.
I feel like we did handle this pretty well. I don't know what I was expecting when getting into this recording, but I just want to say thank you again for you guys joining in. It was an absolute
sure.
blast.
Absolutely,
fun.
dude.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, it was great.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
And
Thanks so much.
yeah, we'll see you guys all in the next one. I think another cool tier list would be when Rise is over and we have all the monsters we could do.
All the
this.
guys.
Yeah, we could do this again maybe. Would that be cool?
Fair enough.
Just save this tier list though, so that we don't.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
add
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
a
we
4
can
hour
Start from
session.
here and
Yeah,
just build.
yeah.
All right, much love you guys. See you guys later.
Word.
All right,
Take it
see you
easy.
guys. Have fun.
These guys.
Deuces.
Bye.